Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Proficiency bonus Twitch channel. We're so glad that you're with us tonight. My name is Michael, your humble dungeon master for this evening as we play some Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We are in the midst of Storm King's Thunder. This is episode 19 of our awesome little stream that we've got going on here tonight, so we're glad that you're tuning in. I just want to throw out a couple quick shout-outs to a bunch of different people, actually. I'm going to jump on here and double-check a little list I've got. I want to throw out some huge shout-outs. First of all, I want to congratulate Mr. Carrot Rope for winning our raffle on our season finale. He got himself a free copy of Xanathar's Guide to Everything that will be arriving in his hands very shortly. I also want to thank Aragroth for following us on Twitch. I also want to thank Joey One Heel Gamer, HD Pup, and Salt_Slinger. We appreciate you guys jumping on board and joining us on this adventure.
Salt Slinger.
Salt Slinger. Yeah, we got Salt Slinger following us. Another follower, BLS Tulip, is also a subscriber. So thank you, BLS Tulip, for all of your support of this channel and for hanging out with us. So we want to welcome you guys back to a new season as we kick off this new year. So Happy New Year, everybody. We're so glad that you're with us. Quick shout-outs. We want to thank Team MZ for all their support of us small streamers. If you want to check them out, make sure you hit them up on Twitter. Also want to thank Many-Sided Dice for all of their support, and also Nightshade Creations for all their support. JJ has a copy of... I'm going to take you guys over to our new overlay screen so you guys can see everybody. JJ's holding up that Lost Artifacts Book of Greygas right now. We've got a brand new overlay for a new season of Storm King's Thunder. So we've got all of our cast positioned in there, hopefully in a way that you guys can see them a little bit better. So you guys can...
It's like Brady Bunch.
it's kind of like the Brady Bunch, exactly. It's like, that's awesome. So,
we are far too dysfunctional to be the Brady Bunch, I'm just saying.
So we are so glad that you're with us tonight, and I just wanted to do a really quick recap. Last time that we were together on a season finale, our heroes have been in Bryn Shander for not a lot of time, really. They just kind of came off the Cloud Giant's Tower from Zetharos, that experience Zetharos bringing them to Bryn Shander from Nightstone, with a goal to find the sheriff and let him know that his sister had been killed in the Nightstone attack. They were able to find the sheriff and let him know of this information. Shortly after that, a band of frost giants began to bark some demands from the southwest gate, looking for an individual named Artis Cimber. The town speaker had no idea who this person was. No one in the town seemed to know what was going on. The giants didn't really feel like giving them a whole lot of time to come up with Artis and decided to start to see if they could search the town themselves. But our heroes jumped into action, literally jumped into action, as Callista launched herself in dire wolf form onto one of the frost giants, and our party, with some help from some of the NPCs in Bryn Shander, were able to quickly, I would say quickly, defeat 3 of these frost giants, sending 2 winter wolves fleeing, and a lot of other frost giants fleeing out into the nearby mountains and hillsides of the Icewind Dale. And really, that brings us up to tonight, where we pick up right after this battle. And we left off last time. Lachlan had snuck off in through the streets and the alleyways of Bryn Shander quickly, right after the battle. He snuck off, finding his way to the town hall, where a lot of people have been kind of like hunkered down until the giant attack was over, and made his way downstairs into the sheriff's office. It was unguarded because the guards were up helping a lot of the people in the upstairs. And he presented his ring, his Zentrum ring, to the individual who was locked up in the cell. And Lachlan the last thing that we saw from Lachlan was a quick wink that he gave to this individual.
Like that?
Yeah, just like that.
Real smooth.
Real smooth wink. So the story is told. Lachlan, as you're standing there in front of this prison cell, you see the mood of this individual who you just winked at change. He looked very flustered and very weak and tired whenever you walked in, but now it almost seems like there's a glow in his eyes as he sees this symbol on your ring and this reassurance as he receives this wink from you. And he just looks at you. He's like, oh, who sent you? Oh, it's so good to see you.
Oh, I hear that a lot. Oh, can you tell me first, what was your name?
I don't know. What's yours?
Oh, we're playing that kind of game, huh? We'll do that on a need-to-know basis. You can call me the Goblin for now.
The Goblin, huh?
Yeah, call me the Goblin.
Ignore my kindergarten lesson plans on the stream, everybody. I'm trying to.
Because I'm looking. You might know a guy named Blakely.
Blakely. I seem to have heard of him. How do you know him?
I was told to find him that he had some important information for a friend of Kella Darkhope.
Kella.
And that this Blakely guy was being imprisoned here in Bryn Shander.
What do you know of Kella Darkhope? Oh, never mind that. Would you get me out of this cell so we can talk about this all you want?
Well, do you know if there are any keys around here?
I know of only one, and the sheriff wears it around his neck. Were you able to swipe it?
No. I didn't quite think that far into this plan.
He just looks at you with shock in his eyes. He's like, that should have been the first place you would have looked.
Well, I mean, I didn't know if people were even going to be in this prison. Anyway, I want to fish around and pull out my thieves' tools and kind of get a sense of could I is there a locking mechanism on here that's familiar to anything I've studied?
Oh yeah, it just looks like a simple lock for a jail cell. You think you could pick it with ease?
Alrighty. I want to listen, see if there's any noises coming from outside. If it seems like I'm kind of more or less safe at the moment.
You can hear the sounds of a lot of people from upstairs, but you don't hear it doesn't sound like any footfalls are coming down the steps or anything. And these are the really rickety wooden steps, so you'd be able to probably hear if somebody was coming down, especially if they weren't if they were sneaking, they might be able to, but it'd be hard without one of them creaking a little bit or something like that.
Okay.
Goblin Johnson.
Goblin Johnson.
I love it, guys. I love it.
Then I'm gonna start to unlock this thing while telling this guy, if you're who I'm looking for, then you have some important information for the snail. Does that name ring a bell?
He kind of looks at you and he's like, he doesn't know what to say at first, but he's like, well, yes, it does ring a bell. How do you know the snail?
Oh, hear about. I just, if you're the guy I'm looking for, we need to make sure that you make it to Daggerford safely. And if you're not, then I'm probably wasting my time here as I continue to work.
Oh, Daggerford! Yes, I'm headed right there. I have to report to the snail immediately.
Good to know.
I don't think the weevil is here.
Oh, the weevil. I've heard stuff about the weevil from the girls, right?
Yeah, you heard them talking about the weevil. You remember when they came back to Kelvin's Comfort and they were both like kind of like talking at the same time about what happened. It was kind of like you've got the story, but it kind of got mumbled a little bit with both of them kind of like talking back and forth. So I'm not sure how you, Lachlan, perceived it, but
yeah. Since I'm doing you the favor of letting you out of here, I'm sure you wouldn't mind kind of including me on anything I need to be aware of.
But what do you need to know? What do you need to be aware of?
Why it's so urgent that we get you back to Daggerford.
Well, I just think that we need to rethink our strategy on looking for this Weevil guy, and I've been gone for a long time, and I need to get back right away so that they don't think that I'm dead or have been, going AWOL or something like that. I want to make sure that they know I'm here.
There's a big reward for this guy, right?
Yes, there is a big reward, but the reward for us is just getting his skills and his knowledge.
I stopped picking the lock for a moment. I was like, it's a big reward!
It is. It is. That doesn't mean you should stop picking this lock. As he looks at you with a strange expression on his face. Okay, my name is Blakely. It is Blakely, and I'm the person you're looking for. I too have a ring just like yours. It just happens to be in that desk right over there, along with my weapons and my materials that I brought with me. I just need to get over there, get them, and I will be headed to Daggerford immediately. But I think there's some people here that are on to me. I don't know. A couple of these women came down here earlier, some half-elves. They were really trolling me.
Half-elves? Really?
Yeah. One looked like some sort of cleric, and the other one had just this cloak over her face. She always looked like, I don't know, there was like a wind blowing around her. I don't know what, I can't explain it. It was just strange.
Kind of scary?
It was like they were trying to do this whole good cop, bad cop thing on me, and it kind of worked, I'll admit it.
I thought they're kind of both bad cops, but...
Lachlan's sitting there pondering which one could have been the good cop.
You probably just have to ponder long.
Yeah.
So how about that lock?
I mean, I need to make sure that I'm going to be taken care of in this situation. If we're going to find this guy, it's a big number.
Well, how about this? I'll cut this deal with you. I'm going to go see the snail directly myself. The snail has a lot of power in the city of Daggerford. If you would permit me to, I will tell him that Goblin...
The Goblin
came wearing his interim ring and symbol, freed me from the clutches of this terrible sheriff in Bryn Shander, and you will gain some excellent renown when it comes to the Zentrum. I'm sure of it. The snail takes care of people who do his will.
Renown and money too? There's gotta be.
Money? Well, with renown comes money, of course.
You have a good point.
Honestly, you don't even.
To be sure.
You don't even. Oh, you know what? Go ahead and make a roll. Basically,
okay.
Anything 10 or higher is gonna do it. Oh yeah.
Whew.
So you hear that familiar click as you're in there with your lock picks, and the bars start to swing open. And immediately, Blakely just takes the bars, almost kind of like forcefully, like pushes his way through, past you, and runs over towards the sheriff's desk and starts kind of like raiding through it. He starts getting all of his gear out, and he starts like, you notice that you think he's taking other things that don't really belong to him. He's just like taking them and like putting them in all of his pockets of his leather and things like that, and just like strapping them on. He's kind of grabbing a coat off of the coat rack over in the corner. You're not even sure if it's his.
Anything good in there?
What do you want? Do you want this? Here, do you want this pouch? And he throws a pouch at you. And you just hear the familiar sound of coinage as it hits your hand.
My guy.
You wanted money. Here it is.
Yeah. So, you might want to be a little careful on the way out of here. There's a little bit of a crowd outside.
He like immediately stops as he's putting on this like fur jacket, the fur coat that he's got. Like,
looks good. It
He's
really
like,
suits you.
Wait, what did you just say?
Well, I mean, you know, it's been a little hectic here. There were giants. My friends kind of really beat up the giants, like really bad.
Oh, you have friends here? How can they help us?
You know, I don't feel like meeting new people. They're shy. Really shy.
They're really shy?
Yeah, shy.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of shy people. I mean, that doesn't make them less helpful.
Yeah, we should ease into that, I think. You know, you're safer without us bogging you down, I think.
Okay,
they move slowly. They're kind of, you know, the wounded.
Lachlan is just like struggling to find the right words as he's just mumbling on his stomach, wiping away. He looks at you. He finishes off putting on the coat, and he kind of listens upstairs. He's like, "This sounds like there's an awful lot of people up there. This is the only way out of here."
Is it? I mean, you've been in here a while. I imagine you haven't seen anybody using secret doors or.
No. You go that way and up those steps, or you go into that cage. And I'm not going back in that cage.
Well, I wish Gramps was here right now. He'd know how to do a distraction.
Gramps? Your grandpa is here?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised he survived this cold, frigid temperatures.
Yeah, he's a pretty sturdy old fellow.
So what's the plan? How are we going to get me out of here?
It's a great question.
What was that little trick that you did? Because you definitely don't look like you look like one of them. Because if you remember, how long did minor illusion last, Lachlan?
Oh, that was disguise self.
Yeah. How long does that last?
Great question.
So I want to see if it wore off yet.
Is it an hour? Yeah, it's an hour.
An hour, yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So you still look like a miniature town guard. Named Goblin.
Yeah.
The Goblin.
Had to think of something on the fly.
Goblin
So,
Johnson.
He kind of looks at you and he's like, is there any way that you can make me look like that?
Short answer is no.
That definitely is a short answer.
Yeah. Hold tight a second, and I'm gonna run up to the door and kind of peek out and see if what it looks like out there.
There's still a bunch of people in there. Like, some people have, like, bedrolls out on the bare wood floor. Others have some of the chairs that were stacked up in, like, the corners and along the walls, like, out. And they're, like, have circles. Some of them are playing cards. And you can see some people are, like, betting and things like that. Some people have taken all the materials from their carts from out in the market and kind of set them in areas and piles and stuff to kind of protect them. It's a mass crowd. And you can see those two guards. There's two guards kind of like walking around, just kind of like checking on people and just making sure that they're safe. Just kind of like just moving around. You have found kind of like a trail like that led through them a little bit, but you're gonna have to pass several people to get them out. Seems to be only one door that leads to the outside.
We should brainstorm a little, buddy.
Wait,
I mean, you got yourself in here.
Yeah, I didn't get myself in here. I got pulled in here. I didn't walk in here on my own free will.
Yeah, because you probably weren't so great at sneaking around if you ended up locked up in here, huh?
You know what? Well, I guess you were a little bit better because you got down here.
Sure did. I can get out of here fine. You're the one we've got to worry about.
don't know. Do you think there's... I don't know. What if we lured one of those guards down these steps? Just knocked him out and took his costume.
I like the way you think. Alright, I'm gonna, go up to the door and kind of, try to see if I can kind of catch eye contact with one of the guards. Okay.
You're kind of looking around, and it takes a few minutes. But then one of the guards notices you behind the door. You're waving towards him. He kind of looks awkward because he looks over and sees the other guard was like a female guard over on the other side. Sees the female guard. It doesn't really, doesn't really 100% recognize you, and starts heading towards the door, dodging all the people that are kind of sprawled out along the wooden floor, and starts to get closer to you, and kind of just not really like, just has an odd look on his face, like a question look on his face, but not really like threatening in any way, because you're kind of dressed as like him and you look a lot like him as you approach, or as he approaches the door. What would you like to do as he gets closer? Anything?
As it gets closer, I'm going to shut the door.
Okay, you shut the door. So the wooden door closes as he's about 5 feet away from the door. And
okay, gotta be ready. It's about to go down.
Okay, so is he at the bottom of the steps, kind of like hiding out behind the other door? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I guess with the arrangement, there are like 2 doors, or there's like
yeah, it's basically like it's a door, steps leading down, a door, and then the office. So imagine like your town hall is up here on this floor. There's a door.
Yeah.
Steps that lead down, wooden steps, and there's a door at the base of the steps that he can close for his office door. So there's like doors on either side of the staircase.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll go down towards the inner door to kind of make sure he heads down there, and come on, we gotta be ready. He's gonna be through here any moment now.
Yeah, the door at the top kind of swings open. He
Yeah.
kind of looks and then looks down and sees you down at the bottom. He's like, what's going on? What do you need?
We can't let anybody see. Quick!
Can't let anybody see what? What are you talking about?
You'll see. It's not good.
What's not good? Has the prisoner escaped?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I need to let Victoria know. And he goes to turn around, and he starts to disappear. And
I want to cast sleep on him.
Okay, roll it up.
Oh, this is not going well.
Okay. You start to say your incantations. This isn't a concentration spell, is it? Is your illusion concentration? Your disguise
That's
self?
a great question.
So would you lose that, or just trying to...
Sleep is...
I don't
not
believe
concentration.
sleep's concentration, so
Okay.
it's still be fine.
So you start to recite your incantations, and all of a sudden, just as soon as he disappears out of view, you just kind of see him fall, and you hear onto the wooden floor above you.
You can run up there and grab his ankles and just start dragging him.
Okay, make a stealth check for this.
Oh gosh, I messed up so bad. Oh gosh.
Okay, that's a good roll. Yeah, you're able to, you kind of like go up the steps. His foot falls quickly, coming up the steps, grabbing. He's like 3 feet away from the door as you kind of like grab him, you yank him, and his face is just like on
Sorry.
off the steps as you pull him by his leg down these wooden stairs, and you get him down inside the room. Blakely just slams the wooden door shut. He's like, "Well, that went well."
No, it didn't. That went terribly. Quick, get this guy naked and get in his clothes.
He just immediately just kind of starts taking the clothes and put them on. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna switch over to the rest of the party for just a little bit as Blakely is getting his disguise situated.
Can I just say I think we found the title of the episode? Get this guy naked.
Get this guy naked. So, as Goblin is freeing Blakely, and they're putting town guards
The
to
Goblin.
sleep. Yeah, the Goblin. Excuse me. The Goblin.
I thought it was Goblin Lord Taylor.
Goblin Lord, Goblin Johnson. See, it's great. As soon as we jumped online, like everybody started coming up with good Goblin names in
Yeah.
Twitch chat. It's awesome. Mr. Goblin,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mr. Goblinson, Christopher Goblin, Goblin Williams.
Goblin Williams.
Can I just say I happen to like Carrot Ropes the best? Danny DeVita.
Danny DeVito. Yeah. Twitch chat is always, as Zoss would put it, lit. We love our Twitch chat.
We really do.
All right, so Mulfin, at this point in time, I think what were you doing at the end of where we finished the battle? I think you were still kind of hanging out by the towers, but I couldn't remember exactly.
It had briefly tried to speak with the weird homeless-looking woman. That didn't go too well, and then remembering that
Must have been something to do with that socially awkwardness that you seem to have.
And after that, remembering that Diana and Callista had mentioned about a strange individual in the cell, he was going to start making his way up that way to go talk to the person.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
Okay, excellent. So, Mulfin, you start trudging through the snowy alleyways, and is anybody else? Because I think you guys, Moby, Diana, and Callista, you guys were all kind of together with Mulfin. Was there anything in particular you guys are doing? You kind of hear Mulfin kind of discussing that he wants to go and meet this interesting individual in the cell.
Oh god. Oh god, I think we. Yeah, I'm racing after him. The moment he meant, I'm like, oh god.
I've got two babies in my arms. I guess I'm following Callista.
Actually, and before you start to move away,
Oh yeah, before that, I probably would have taken the baby.
Oh yeah, Callista.
Yeah.
Callista embraces.
And
her
I
baby
gave
Griffin
Moby
again.
back his thing, right? I gave Moby back his.
Yeah, Moby
Grappling
has
gun.
his grappling gun
Batman
back in his
gun.
possession. Yeah, because Callista went and carved out a bunch of gems last
Yeah.
time. I do have some other treasure to give you guys, but I haven't. I got to roll some of it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till the break, and then you guys can add that to you. We'll just assume that you got it at this point. I'll go ahead and approve that. I'm not going to let my auto mod stop Mr. Carrot Rope from saying that in chat. Get naked and cover yourself with butter. You get an AC of 25.
I love it.
As the DM permitted that in Twitch chat, I'm using that for my AC from now on. A naked 375-year-old gnome. Picture
yeah.
that, Twitch chat.
Brown people will
Or
you?
no.
Nightmares. So before you guys get too situated, Diana, you kind of hand Callista. What was the name of your griffin again?
Cleo.
Cleo. Yeah, you kind of hand Cleo over, and as you're doing that, the town speaker kind of approaches you, Diana, and kind of almost angrily picks up that horn that you took off of her last time, picks it up off the ground where it was kind of sitting beside you, and says, "That was probably the rudest thing that you could have done." But
Really?
Well,
That's your priority right now?
They were
And then
gonna
she-
kill us anyway.
She kind of looks at you both, and she's like, "But the people of Bryn Shander are safe, and I have you to thank."
You're welcome.
Before sunset tonight, if you could, make your way over to my palace. I will have you over as my honored guest this evening.
Oh shit.
You and your friends.
You're-
I just took it off. Oh, fuck my life, Callista.
Your palace? You're whom? Who are you? You're the head leader of this town. That's cool. That's fun. We would love to be invited, and I promise our table manners are better than our battle manners. We will be the picture of polite.
And the Sheriff Markham is kind of right there with her, kind of like looking at you guys, kind of like he kind of like gives you this look of almost like surprising. Just he's like you can feel a sense of pride about him, but he's not really a man of a lot of words. He's like, I'll admit that was pretty crazy, but effective. Well done, both of you. He kind of looks over at Moby and Molfin as well and kind of just gives you a quick nod. And you see Duvessa, who's the town speaker, she starts to walk away from you guys. She just starts barking these orders to all these guards that are standing around. She starts telling like some of them to go and start kind of making a perimeter around the town to assess the damage and to see if there's anybody injured from all the stones being thrown over the wall last time. And she also, you can hear her barking orders to Markham as Markham kind of follows behind, telling him to get some scouts ready to send outside of the walls to see if they can maybe track some of the other giants to see exactly where they're headed, if they think they might be getting ready to regroup and come back at Bryn Shander. So she's kind of worried. She's kind of getting in defensive mode and also trying to protect her people as she kind of walks away from the scene from you guys. Markham kind of follows behind after giving you guys compliments. And what's that, Diana?
No. Oh, I was gonna say, can I go with the healers and assist in finding injured people in town?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As you see, some of the guards, they start to kind of move that way, and you kind of take your wonderful baby griffin, and you start to make your way around Bryn Shander to see, just kind of assess the damage, see if there's any people that need your help, see if there are any people injured, or perhaps at this point maybe even buried under the rubble of their homes as they got smashed in by rocks. So that's what Diana's going to head on to do. Moby. Molfin and Callista look like they're pretty intent on going to talk to this person who's been locked up.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. Moby's going to head back to the tavern, have some peach schnapps.
Some peach schnapps. Excellent.
So chill.
Moby, as you begin to walk, you notice that eventually there is another individual who kind of catches up to you. And he looks like... I'm going to show you what he looks like as soon as I can find him on this ginormous map. He looks like this. He's got a little stubble going on. He's with his facial hair, a little bit of long hair sticking out of this interesting winter cap that he's wearing, all bundled up.
Shanka.
And he kind of comes up to you, just walks kind of quickly. It's like he's catching up to you, and he's like, "Well, that was some courage back there you displayed."
Oh, you saw that? Yeah, some call it courage, others call it stupidity.
Well, I've heard it called that as well, but I've come to believe that most acts like that are done out of courage and bravery. And he's just he kind of is walking with you, and he looks towards you, and he's like, I must be honest. I do have a confession to make.
Have you thought about seeing a priest?
It's kind of funny that you say that. My best friend is one.
Sounds like the punchline to a joke.
But I must say that I feel like I may have been the cause of all this trouble. And he kind of looks back over his shoulder towards the southwest gate where all these people are kind of being dispersed from, and looking at everybody kind of like scattering around. You see, Artist Simber was my father.
Oh?
I feel like I could have been quicker. I could have done something.
I mean, we handle it. It wasn't just, we couldn't let civilians just perish.
That's true, but you could have lost your life because of me. Because of my father and the decisions that he's made.
Your father? And who would your father be?
My father, Artis. I have no idea where he is, but I feel like I may be able to find him. I know he once spoke of the Roaring Horn family, I believe. It was a long time ago. I was but a child. They're kind of a group of nobles from the city of Waterdeep. I don't know if they would happen to know where my father is, but if it means stopping these giants from laying waste to Bryn Shander, then maybe it's something worth seeking out.
Perhaps it is. Look, it seems like you got a lot on your mind. I'm going to the tavern. Let's get some peach schnapps and let's talk about this.
Oh no, I don't drink. I'm not a drinker.
Well, what fun are you then? Okay.
But what about you come and visit the temple? Maybe we could spend some time praying with one another.
Oh,
It's very warm. My friend, the priest at the temple, he keeps the fire very warm, especially in these frigid temperatures.
I'm gonna look around to see where the others are. Are they near me?
Molfin and Callista have kind of walked up ahead of you. Like, this conversation has slowed you down a little bit as you're walking up the main street. You can see Callista and Molfin are kind of making haste, even though Molfin is struggling to keep up to Callista because her... she's got...
I'm probably not waiting, to be honest.
She's got a faster gait because she's got longer legs than Molfin does, and it's like a foot and a half of snow in some places, and Molfin is just like trudging through with his cane and things like that. And you've lost Diana. You're not really sure where Diana's gone. She's kind of moved on.
All right, if you want to head over there now, I mean, you could get in a quick praise session, or whatever it is you do.
Yes, I'm hoping that maybe I can consult the gods about what should be done about my father and why these giants, need him so bad. I just feel responsible for some of this.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot to get off your chest. Quickly, let me stop by the tavern, get a bottle of peach schnapps, and then we'll go to the temple.
If you must, fair enough. But you might want to take it easy on that stuff, It can kind of mess with your mind a bit.
He just laughs.
Is that a squirrel in your hair?
Yep, certainly is.
Interesting. And he just continues to walk. As you guys are walking kind of side by side down the main street. You eventually veer off to Kelvin's comfort as you arrive and head on in. And he waits outside in the freezing, frigid temperatures. Just like his hands in his pockets, just like shivering. And
boy, he really doesn't drink if he's willing to forego a nice warm tavern.
Yeah, he's not a drinker. And all of a sudden, Blakely stands up and looks at Lachlan and says, "How do I look?"
Smooth. I like it. It's a good look for you. Maybe you should be a guard more often. Anyway,
he picks up the spear that the guards carry around. He's like, "Oh, this thing is such a piece of junk. What a worthless weapon." He's kind of like,
well, hopefully you won't have to use it. You just need to look guardy enough to get through this crowd.
Fair enough. Do you?
In fact, please don't use it. Don't get me in trouble.
Oh, I don't plan to. I just want to get out of here as quickly as I can.
I feel ya.
So they.
All right.
So you guys start to make your way up the steps. You reach the top of the steps, and Lachlan, you begin to open the door. You can see that the other guard is still kind of moseying around and looking. I got it. So are we just gonna just walk and mosey and just walk right out the door?
We need to look like we know what we're doing and where we're going.
Okay. How do you want to do that?
It's a great question. So there was just an attack, so we should probably look like we're going to help survivors. I think that's a
great idea. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to be moving with a purpose.
Okay, so walk quickly. Weapons in hand, but
Not too quickly. If the weapons.
Should we make any kind of marching noises like guards do?
Well, yeah, I think we have to look as guardy as possible.
I don't know. I don't have much experience being a guard.
Same. I'm usually running from them, but
I kind of like you, Goblin. We sound like we have a lot in common.
This could be the beginning of a good business relationship.
Fair enough. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Now they start to make their way. They're moseying on. You guys are kind of marching through. I'm gonna go ahead and make one roll.
Oh!
To see something very quickly. As I scroll through my massive monster manual.
Just gonna say, I just picture Lachlan and this character starting to walk through. We're guards. We guard. We're guard.
Guard. As they're marching out. Oh, never whisper rolls. Good. Okay. Oh, here we go. Cool. Let's make a roll. Okay. You guys seem to head out. A couple of the people reach out to you as you're walking by, Lachlan. They're like, oh, can you get us some water?
I pat him on the shoulder. Absolutely, citizen. One moment.
You keep walking. Excellent. And then Lachlan, you guys march right out the front door and out into the snowy alleyway.
Oh, that was scary.
Hey, that was pretty good.
It was.
You're not really going to give them water, are you?
I don't really care, but
That's all right.
Depends how long we have to keep up this charade.
I wouldn't either. We got to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. I can't go. I've kind of things I need to do around here a bit. What's your plan? Are you?
What'd you say after that? I got you. Are you? And then you just kind of.
Yeah. I sort of trail off. What's your plan? Are you?
Well, I need to commandeer some transportation, and head my way south to Daggerford immediately.
Immediately. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I think I can make my way at least to the gate with this guys. I'm not sure they'd look too kindly on one of their guards just leaving Bryn Shander, unless, I don't know, there might be a way I could slip in to one of the groups of guards and find a way out.
Yeah, do the guards go on patrols around here, do you know?
Most of the time they go in groups. I've never seen them kind of wandering around on their own.
Yeah. This could be tricky. You might want to be careful.
Okay, so he he's looking around, and all of a sudden he sees what looks like a large warhorse tied to a fence a few hundred feet away. He looks over there and he's like, I think I found my way out.
You're just gonna charge out the gate in a warhorse?
I think I'm gonna walk it to the gate. I think I've got you said there was an attack, right?
Yeah, giants attacked the
Well, that's the
southwest gate.
perfect distraction. These guards are going to be flying everywhere. Oh, getting out of here is going to be a breeze.
Yeah, did you say that to yourself right before you got caught?
Listen, I know there were other people here looking for the Weevil as well. I think they set me up.
Who else is looking for the Weevil?
I can't remember their names. Kind of a shady pair. They were held out in that Gelden Stag's Rest for a couple nights.
Gelden Stag's
Yeah.
Rest.
We kind of run into each other a couple of times as we were kind of snooping around Bryn Shander at the same time. I think they turned me into the guard.
Oh.
I think they want that reward.
I need to make sure they don't get that reward.
We just need to make sure they don't get the Weevil.
Yeah. Big time. So yeah, you're feeling good about your exit strategy here?
Oh yeah, I can handle this.
Hey, listen, if I've spent some time in Daggerford. If I want to find you there, can I ask around? How do I find you again?
Huh. That's a good question.
Are there places you like to visit? Are there
Give me 1 second. Now, there is a place, but I forget the name, so I'm gonna look it up to make sure I give you the right name. Thank all of you for tuning in tonight as I look through this wonderful text.
Oh, don't worry about me and the chat are having a grand old time.
The chat has been awesome tonight. They've been having a good time.
I learned all about butter armor from our friend Carrot Rope.
Oh.
Learned what type of butter it's got to be, how to apply it, how many inches you need to prevent guards from catching you. Useful information for our friend Blake, but he's not around for Molfen to provide it to him.
Hey, Lachlan, he looks at you and he says, "My plan is to report to the River Shining Tavern in Daggerford. That is where the snail likes to spend most of his time and relax. Be careful, though. He always likes to have a group of loyal guards around him. But that's where I'm going to report all of my information. And if you ever need to reach me, I can usually be found somewhere near that tavern."
Good to know.
And
Well, Blake, it's been an honor.
and he kind of like reaches out to shake your hand. He's like, "The goblin, eh?
The Goblin. One and only.
I will make sure the snail knows of you, goblin, and your wonderful deed that you did for me here in Bryn Shander." And he quickly just starts to like run away from you, like headed towards this warhorse.
Oh,
And
he's gonna get caught.
this time, Callista, I would like you to make I guess this would be a perception check with disadvantage because he's wearing a different
I'm gonna use my
guise.
inspiration.
All right, using her inspiration, so that'll make it a straight roll for your
Okay.
perception check. I'm not gonna have Molfen roll this because he's never seen this guy before. You're the only person that's actually laid eyes on him before. You kind of you guys are just kind of walking away. You see a bunch of people like running around and things like that happening. So you don't really notice him heading off in the other direction as you and Molfen kind of round the corner of the town hall, and you see this a very short version of a guard standing in the snow in front of the town hall. He looks like one of the standard Bryn Shander guards, but he is like at least 2 foot shorter than any of the other guards that you've ever seen.
You there? I approach him.
Okay. The snow crunches under Callista's feet as she approaches this disguised Lachlan.
Hello there. Well, hello there, citizen.
Did you just come from inside the town hall?
I've been patrolling these streets, citizen, helping all of the people, the citizens.
I totally just almost spit out my drink all over the place.
Can I get you some water, citizen? Seems to be something many people are asking for.
You didn't happen to see a short gnome around here, have you?
A short gnome.
Well, they're all
it's
short.
Mostly humans, I think, in this town.
Does he look human?
You look exactly like a guard, right? With disguised self?
I think so, just like 2 feet shorter.
Yeah, he looks exactly like a
baby
guard,
man
just
or
like he's 2 foot shorter. He's.
Do you mind coming with me? We have to discuss something with the prisoner from Markham.
Oh, absolutely.
Follow me. And I go straight
Yes.
into the town hall, straight down the stairs.
Okay.
Citizen.
So, Mulfin, are you following along?
Yep.
Okay.
I said Molfin's there?
So, Mulfin, you guys head on in, and MG, your Lachlan is just headed in disguised as.
Yeah, I want to pat the dwarf, not the dwarf. I want to pat the gnome wizard here on the shoulder and say, "Stay strong, old man. Stay strong."
What is wrong with you?
Mulfin, this human guard is about the same height as you are.
Are you diseased? Why are you so small?
I didn't get all my vegetables growing up. It's good to see. It's good to see. You know, an old gnome looking so handsome. Your family must be incredibly good looking.
No, there's the one with the strange spiky red hair. He's rather odd, but I think that comes from his. That's my sister's side. We won't discuss them.
Happens in every
Why are we
family.
discussing my family?
I go down the stairs.
Callista's kind of moved on. She's moved past the people.
Callista, save me!
Callista, a few people are kind of like reaching out to you. Like, okay, can you get us some water, please?
In a minute. And I don't even...
As you guys keep passing these people looking for water, they're just like, oh.
As we're walking by, Mulfin is just sort of and cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do it as a. Wait, I have to do it as a ritual, don't I? No, it doesn't allow me to do it as an.
It says
it's just
casting
one
time,
action.
one action. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so as I misread it. I looked at duration, it's all 1 hour. And as Unseen Servant materializes, do us a favor, sir, and supply these people with water. Just all of them. Every single one gets water.
Okay. So your unseen servant starts to meander around in search of water as you're kind of moving by. As after Callista walks by and you and Lachlan walk by, the one guy that asked water of Lachlan before, he said, "Oh, have you got the water?"
Still working on it.
Oh. He just kind of shrugs a little bit.
Moment longer, citizen.
They're all kind of like bundled up with blankets and things like that as you guys walk by. You can see Callista has made her way through the first wooden door and is headed down the steps. You guys are still a little bit a few feet away from the steps as you approach. And Callista, you get to the bottom of the steps as Mulfin and Lachlan are at the top. And the door is open to the office, and you open it up to see that Markham's desk has completely been raided. The doors are still like hanging open. There is clothing lying all over the floor. The coat rack has been knocked over, and the prison gate is completely like wide open and unlocked.
I'm assuming I see the guard. The naked...
Yeah, there's a naked man lying there, tied up with some clothing. Like there's not even rope. It's just like he's like strung up with somebody's clothes.
One guard?
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
One male guard, wearing nothing but.
Oh, at least I get to say I told you
piece-
so. And
a piece of
I'm
fabric
shaking him.
over his
I'm trying to
groin.
like wake him up. I'm trying to wake him up.
Okay, you begin to shake him, and all of a sudden you see like his eyes start to open up, and he's like, it's so cold.
What happened? Snap into it.
And he starts like just like panic and put his arms over over his groin and stuff, and starts to like.
Next to Molfin, I'm dropping my disguise self.
Okay, as you guys are walking down the steps, Lachlan turns into Lachlan again, Molfin, as you guys are walking down the steps. It's no longer a human guard, it's Lachlan, and he's kind of trying to shush you.
I'll owe you one. I'll owe you a big one.
His face.
What are you doing?
I'll explain later, okay? Hey, I just joined you, okay?
What happened here?
JJ, point of contention GM, someone had a big night. That's funny. Yeah, the guard just starts to freak out. He's like, why are my hands bound? What happened?
I'll take my dagger and start undoing him.
As you pull out your dagger, he's like, don't stab me.
I just ignore him and leave.
You start to
Focus.
Are you going to murder that guard?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Molfin walks in right as you got your dagger up. And Callista starts cutting him free as both Molfin and Lachlan walk. Or Lachlan, are you walking in or are you staying out?
Yeah, I'm walking in. What happened in here? My gosh.
Where the hell did you come from?
He just came through the door as I was coming down following you.
Oh, hey, Callista.
I ignore him. I'm focusing on the guard. Where
Okay.
is the prisoner?
I don't know. Last I
What's the
remember,
last thing you-
I remember, there was a guard that said that he escaped. So I was going to tell Victoria that the prisoner escaped, and then I don't know. I don't remember what happened after that.
What did the guard look like?
Oh, I got a terrible headache. Oh,
What did the guard
The
look
prisoner escaped?
yes, the prisoner escaped. The guard,
terrible.
he looked like one of us. He looked exactly like me with my uniform on. I mean, I just assumed it was
Any
one of
defining features?
us. He was really short.
Oh.
Really short, huh?
The villagers here don't get-
Callista's just kind of like smiling at the guard.
Callista, were you not just talking to a rather diminutive fellow? Where did you send him off to?
He was with you! And I have a feeling I'm going to incite Lachlan.
Lachlan, you can go ahead and make a deception check since she's trying to. Yeah, Callista, it's pretty obvious that judge as he said
Timing.
the instant he said short, you start thinking about some of the things that Lachlan was saying in his disguise, and it's kind of like it's like a montage of all these things, and you start to put the pieces together in your mind. And you recall seeing Lachlan doing this kind of disguise work before, whenever you guys went to the goblin caves.
I'm turning on Lachlan. Where is he?
What are you talking about? I'll explain later. I have no idea. Where's who? I'll explain later.
I grab him by his scruff and I'm dragging him out.
Okay. Callista starts dragging Lachlan up the steps.
Molfin is just going to look at the guard and just be like, Don't mind them. It's just a lover's quarrel. They do this all the time. Would you please find some clothing? It is completely inappropriate to be nude in such a fashion in front of a young lady.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna do that right away. I need to get some clothing on so I can go tell the sheriff what has happened. And he starts to put on the clothes, and then he realizes the only clothes that are there are the ones that Callista cut up that were that were kind of tying him up. He puts on the shirt and it's like split in half. He's like, oh, goodness gracious.
See you wearing an outfit like that. You're still exposing your litty titties. Put those away.
You did it. You did it. Go ahead and give yourself a point of DM's inspiration, Muffin.
I'm out.
You did it. It only,
Thank you for stealing his clothes.
it only took him an hour. It only took him an hour to get it in there. Congratulations. You are the winner of Dungeons and Dragons.
For our viewers at home who have no idea what the hell's going on, I'm a little older and was unfamiliar with some phrases earlier and was introduced to Litty Titty. Was told if I could figure a way to work it, I'd get inspiration, so... You're welcome.
Oh, yes, you are welcome. JJ says, I'm done. I'm out.
Hope you enjoyed Storm King's Thunder.
I hope you enjoyed our final episode as we ride off into the sunset. So Lachlan is being drugged up the stairs by Callista. Diana, you are able to kind of go around the city, and actually, as you're kind of walking around during all this that's been taking place, you're kind of walking around with some of the groups of guards, kind of removing some rubble from some people. Surprisingly enough, there's not too much damage. A lot of the stones that came barreling over the city walls either landed into a street or barely brushed some of the buildings. There's a couple of them that got a direct hit, but luckily enough, there weren't a lot of people inside the buildings that were hit. And most of the people were able to get out to safety. There might have been maybe 1 or 2 people that got severely injured, but you have no problem kind of going around, and you were able to use your healing to kind of make them feel like themselves again. And the people are just thrilled that you were kind of there to help them, and a lot of them are already. The buzz around town is always coming around that how you were one of the protectors of Bryn Shander, and people are looking at you very favorably, coming up to you, little kids, kind of like coming up to you, just like wanting to like grab a hold of your hand and just kind of just like wanting to give you big hugs around your thigh and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, you're kind of like becoming like a town hero.
You're so hardcore.
And the little kids want to reach up and kind of like want to pet the baby griffin that you're holding and things like that. And the baby griffin kind of tries to snap at their hands a couple times.
No,
That's bad. More training.
Flesh.
She gets a water bottle out and sprays it.
With vinegar. Vinegar and water.
Hey, can my unseen servant find that water bottle? Them people.
That's it. Yeah, your unseen servant still kind of like wandering around, looking around the room. I imagine your what would your unseen servant, even though we can't see him, if we could see your unseen servant, what would he look like, and what would his like mentality be? I know it's kind of like just like a spell that just he kind of like meanders around, but what would?
It's very think Faulty Towers, very thin, frail, sort of uptight British butler type.
Excellent.
Just very stodgy movement. Would you care for some water, sir? There you go, sir.
Yeah, so your unseen servant is just kind of like wandering around. There's not a lot of water to be found in the town hall, so he starts to like wander outside a little bit. Starts contemplating maybe picking up picking up some snow and like stuffing it into mugs and things like that and taking it in to melt it. So they're kind of looking all around. He's wandering around. Eventually he does find some water and he's able to take it in to help some of the people inside. Callista, actually we'll go back to Moby right now. Moby, you've just walked out of Kelvin's Comfort with a full bottle of peach schnapps.
Nice.
And in front of you is that individual. He's like kind of like standing there in the cold with his hands really close. He's like, man, that took a lot longer than I thought. Did you drink a bottle before you purchased that one?
I mean, I'll never tell. No, I was just, getting around in my hair for the gold. It's in there somewhere. You sure don't want any? It'll keep you warm. You look really cold.
Oh no, I'll just heat by the fire at the house of the Triad.
Your loss. And I uncork it and take a swig.
Okay.
Pour it back in, and then I chuck it in my hair.
Chuck it in your hair. Nice. You guys start to walk. It's only about a block back down the road from where you guys came. And you approach. You can tell for a town such as Bryn Shander, this is probably their largest place of worship. It's an impressive stone edifice built by what you would probably assume is Dwarven. It's a really nice kind of put together structure in comparison to all the other buildings that you see around it. And you also see, actually go ahead and make a religion check. Oh, nice. You notice some familiar symbols. You know that this particular place of worship is called the House of the Triad, and it's the Triad for a reason. It actually serves as a place of worship for 3 different gods. The first one is Tyr, the god of justice. The second one is Torm, the god of courage and self-sacrifice. And the final one, which you are kind of familiar with, very familiar with, is Ilmater, the god of endurance in the face of suffering. So this is actually a temple that's honoring Ilmater as well as 2 other gods.
Sorry, Molfin's distracting me.
Yeah, Molfin walking around town is kind of distracting. And he kind of like leads you towards the front door of the house, and he kind of like waves you on. It's like, oh, I can already feel the heat from the fire.
Oh, hang on 1 second, and I'm gonna reach into my head, take out the alcohol. I'm gonna reach into my bag, get rid of all the weapons, my sling, my whip, anything else I've got on me, my little pebbles, and just leave it by the door.
Just gonna leave it all by the door?
Yep.
As you put it down, he's kind of like pushing open this large kind of arched doorway. It's like double doors that are painted bright red, and he pushes one of them open. And you guys kind of walk inside, and it's very warm in here as you walk inside. Place is adorned with candles alongside the windows in the building. There's a lot of stained glass windows that have the candles sitting in front of them. Each of them depicting different images of the gods that this place is focused on. And El Matador, god of bullfighting. That's nice. El Mater, god of toes. Oh my goodness. Twitch chat is great. I love it. And you kind of walk in and you see that there is a priest that's present in the temple, and he's kind of walking around, kind of lighting some candles and kind of like setting up some books, like some looks like some kind of religious books or books of worship and things like that around the room as you walk in. Looks like he just got finished tending a large fireplace that's over in the opposite corner of the temple. And the guy that's with you starts to kind of like, he takes off his heavy jacket and kind of puts it down in one of the pews. And
I take off my fabulous jacket that I was wearing.
Yeah, it's a nice wolf fur a jacket that you were wearing. You kind of take it off and make yourself comfortable. He kind of heads over to the fire, and he's kind of like holding his hands like this over the fire and just standing next to this large stone fireplace that looks like it just recently received some more wood on top of the fire. He looks to you, and he's just kind of like, oh, so what brings you to Bryn Shander? What brought you here in the first place?
Family, death. I think that's the gist of it.
Family and death.
Grim times, it seems.
Yeah, it has been.
No, I'm traveling with a bunch of people. And we thought it'd be fun to just stop by here, see the sights, tourists do stuff.
not a lot of people come to Bryn Shander to to just explore and be tourists. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're an odd sort. Yep, the odd bunch. That's us.
Oh, excuse me for being so rude. Let me introduce you to my friend. This is the priest of Torm. His name is Delvon Ludwig. Delvon, come on over here, please. Come on over here. Meet my new friend. Delvon comes over to you. He's kind of dressed in some priestly robes, adorning the symbols of Torm, and he kind of reaches out to shake your hand.
Cool. Okay, I was going in for like a bow, and I see his hand near my face, and I like stand up. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Shaking his hand.
He doesn't seem to be one that really needs a bow or anything. But yeah, you start to bow, and you kind of shake his hand. He's like, oh, well, welcome to Bryn Shander. Would you please make yourself at home? And he kind of like looks over at the other individual, and he's just like, I know you were absolutely crazy going out there with all that commotion. And I'm glad you're all safe. And he heads back, and he starts kind of just fixing some other things around the room. And the man that was kind of luring you in here he's a man of little words, but of a pretty strong faith.
Seems to be that way. Look, I got my own little confession to make. I've never prayed before. It's not something. I mean, am I allowed to be in here?
Of course. I spent a lot of my early days on the streets. I had a very rough life, and if it weren't for Torm and just the things that he stands for, courage and bravery, I may have not known what it was like to be someone who prayed as well.
Okay, that's great, but my question kind of is, how do you do it? Like, do you just stand there, or do you sit? Do you bathe yourself in water? I mean...
He kind of chuckles a little bit as you're saying that. He's like, no, it can be rather simple. I mean, you can stand, you can kneel, you can sit, you can bow, but it's really just as simple as a conversation.
That's too many situations. Look, I'll just go with you. Whatever you do, I'll just follow.
Okay. He kind of like let me and he like kneels down next to the fire, and he kind of sets one of his hands on your shoulder. And
I try to set my hand on his shoulder.
Okay. You don't have to kneel down because he's a little quite a bit taller than you. He's just you can tell he's just a human man. And you just kind of set your
Is
other
this
arm.
how we do it? Do we hold each other's shoulders? Is that what we're meant to be doing?
It's one way. I mean, it can be done this way. Just, trying to make it so that you're not uncomfortable. And he starts.
I'm very uncomfortable right now. Do you have to hold my shoulder?
Okay, I won't hold your shoulder. I don't have to hold your shoulder. And he just he backs away with his arm, and he kind of like holds it to the side. I'll just fold my hands like this. Does that make you feel better?
All right, I look over and I try to emulate what he's doing.
Okay, as this is all taking place,
I think I got it.
Delvon kind of comes over and he's like, "Is everything all right?"
Oh, yep, just getting back into it. It's been a long time since I've been in a temple.
Go to make a deception check, Moby. Let me see what exactly I gotta roll for this. Oh, that's this might be a pretty
I think I'm a bad influence on our Twitch chat.
Are you stirring up the Twitch chat tonight?
Understatement.
He kind of looks at you with an interesting, interesting look, Moby. For some reason, I forgot to turn the whisper off for this individual, but they kind of has the idea that it probably has been a while and that you haven't actually probably done this. So he's like, do you mind if I join in on the prayer?
I mean, is that something you do? Is it a solo thing or a group thing?
We can all pray together. It'd be something that we can do. And he kneels down next to the other individual and kind of puts his hands together. He closes his eyes and he just starts speaking. You kind of almost think like he's talking to you at first because you're not really sure what's going on. But he starts kind of addressing Torm and asking Torm for extra courage, extra bravery in a time of need in Bryn Shander. He also thanks Torm for offering the courage and the bravery needed to defeat the threat on Bryn Shander. And he kind of continues on. And as we do this, we're going to cut over to Callista and Lachlan as they both reach the top of the steps. Are you dragging him outside, Callista, or?
I'm still holding him, but as I'm dragging him, I'm letting the guards know that the prisoner escaped and that he's probably wearing guard armor, considering that guy was naked.
Okay. So you walk up to the female guard, the only other guard that's in there, and you're kind of like, as you got Lachlan by the neck, you are kind of letting the other guard know, and you can see like instantly as soon as you say that, she starts to like panic because that was one of her duties, was to make sure that prisoner didn't escape. She's like, oh my goodness, I need to go find sheriff. What? But I can't leave. I can't leave all these people. Can you look after these people?
We'll handle it. Just go.
Okay. And she just starts to book it. Heads on. You see a couple people like reaching out looking for water, and all of a sudden there's this weird there's like cups of like floating water that start to move throughout the room and find their way into the hands of some of these people that are reaching out for water. And they just like, they're holding out their hands with this weird look on their face, like, what is going on?
It's safe.
And they look at the water and they're like, look back at the water, look back up. Like, one of them looks like, am I drunk? As they're like looking at all this weird stuff happening. And Callista, it is you and Lachlan.
Yeah, I'm dragging him to a secluded area where I can talk to him in quiet.
There's pretty much no place inside that's secluded. There are so many people in here.
Is there somewhere outside we can step just outside?
Yeah, you can step outside. It hasn't been very crowded outside. Like can see
I'll
like
do that.
some guards like moving quickly back and forth as they're kind of assessing the damage of the town and things like that. But it seems like a lot of the people are still kind of hunkered in till they get a word from like the guard and everything that everything is 100% safe. Nobody's gonna run out there and get in the way of these giants.
All right.
So you drag Lachlan outside.
Probably from like the back of your neck, like this, like I'm just holding you like a cat type thing.
Okay. Mulfin, are you going upstairs? Are you going to kind of taking place with this conversation as well? Are you going out there, or are you kind of staying put with the?
Probably go upstairs and no further than the door that they walk out.
Okay.
Like sort of the door, keep the door cracked open so you can sort of try to listen in, but still have a presence in the room for the civilians and the invisible unseen servant.
Okay, gotcha. So Mulfin's kind of like standing guard there. Callista, you've got Lachlan.
Explain. I'll drop him.
Drops him into the snow. Goes Lachlan.
My knees are pretty banged up. I hope we don't have to walk anywhere anytime soon.
I'll heal you later. Explain.
Okay. Here's the thing. I need you to promise two things. One, promise you won't turn me into the guards. And two, promise you won't kill me for this. Okay?
The fact that he's saying this is like, this is something she probably does want to kill him for.
Mulfin, if Mulfin hears that, he's readying a spell.
Just two little promises, they're not big.
Fine.
Yeah. Molfin, you start to think, oh no. Oh no.
I won't kill you.
Molfin instantly, and when you're hearing this, Molfin, you're instantly thinking about when Molfin was, or when Lachlan was first sent back to Daggerford from Waterdeep by his parents because he was hanging around with the wrong crowd, and about all the trouble he was getting into, and how you and Moby were supposed to kind of set him straight, and it starts to kind of weigh heavy on you a little bit as you're hearing this.
How deep are you, Lachlan?
I mean, I'm fine. I think I'm as long as. Well, I think you could get me.
Lachlan.
One of them is my great grandfather. Isn't that with you?
Lachlan, stop stalling and explain.
Okay, so I mean, I may have had a hand in helping a prisoner who was held on unfair grounds, by the way. Helping a prisoner find his freedom. Everyone deserves freedom. Right?
Why? He's Zenturum. He knows Kella. Why?
Yeah, that's part of the thing.
You deliberately went behind our backs after me and Diana were discussing it and didn't tell us at all?
Well, I mean, I know that you're not big Kella fans. You know, a couple things have happened in the past. You're not exactly, on good terms with her. I mean, you did try to murder her.
Yes, and I plan to.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't tell you. You would have definitely made sure I couldn't do it.
What does she want with him?
So I guess I don't know much about the city. It's just a friend of hers. Get out. You know, I did a good deed.
Out of the pure goodness of your heart, huh?
You know me.
Uh-huh, I do know you.
Oh. I mean, so Kella may have given me like a little list of things to do, and maybe I failed pretty much everything on the list, and I needed to make sure that I got at least one in, and...
I'm assuming the list is the letter you've been hiding.
Oh, that letter! Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the letter.
Where did he go, Lachlan?
To tell the truth, I don't really know. I mean, I have some ideas about maybe the direction he would have gone, but at this point, I mean, I don't know if he's...
What's the direction?
Generally south. You know, back to civilization.
Go ahead, deception me.
Huh? I'm not really deceiving. I'm like, I'm...
But you know where he's going, so she's wanting to make sure you really don't know where he's going.
Okay. Daggerford!
And yes, Digitio, give citizens water was not on the list, so. But if it had been, he would have failed that too, because he did not deliver.
I'm giving you an insight on Callista right now. When you say Daggerford, you can insight Callista.
Alrighty.
Failed try to deception. Nope.
Yeah, Daggerford.
What does he want in Daggerford?
I mean, I guess he got information that's important. Some mutual friends, if you will.
Is this about the Weevil?
I don't actually. I mean, the Weevil may have come up in conversations. I don't really know much Weevil, but maybe. By the way, there are other people looking for the Weevil, so if you want to get that reward, you may have to deal with them.
Well, it didn't sound like they wanted the reward. They sounded like they wanted his services.
Yeah. I mean, still, it's, that reward is pretty big.
But you want the reward, of course.
I would say that, in a choice between reward and services, that it's a little more immediate.
Lachlan,
Yeah.
how do you feel about being a double agent? I'm not against finding the Weevil for the reward. I just don't want them to have him.
I mean, it is 5,000 gold.
Ooh.
Is 5,000 gold worth it? So I can trust you?
I mean, you can trust me no matter what, right? I mean,
No. Lachlan, I would have thought Moby would have talked to you about this by now.
Oh, he's talked to me a fair amount. He's, you know.
And you just don't listen or you don't care?
I think that, we all go through a journey in life, and some of us can run, and some of us kind of walk or crawl.
So are you crawling?
Yeah. Maybe stop in every once in a while to admire the sights. Anyway, I could be convinced for us to go after this guy. I think we could do it. We're good. We're a group with some skills, I think. I mean, you turned into a wolf and like almost ate giants.
Yeah, that was gross.
Pretty cool.
If he's going to Daggerford, do you think that's where the Weevil is around?
It seems reasonable. This guy seems to be connected to the whole Weevil thing, right?
Okay. I think you need to be a little bit more honest with your family.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I mean, now I've pretty much done something on Kella's lists. I think I'm pretty good.
And my proposal?
I mean, 5,000 gold. I'm in.
Honestly?
I don't get the whole thing. I mean, I have to share, but
My question is, Lachlan, can we really trust you going forward?
You give it a good.
I
give it a
don't
good
need
shot.
liabilities traveling with me.
I mean,
I need to know that you're safe. For all of us.
I won't get you all in trouble.
I look back at the town hall.
None of us are gonna get caught for anything. We saved the town. We're heroes. Other people might get in trouble, but collateral damage.
Callista, you have the image of that female guard's frantic look on her face when you told her that the prisoner escaped as he says that. Also, the image of the naked guard tied up downstairs.
Oh, it's burned into her brain.
I'm feeling good about this. I think we can. I mean, we're gonna have to hurry. We can't dawdle around.
I just want to remind you that there are consequences to your actions, Lachlan.
Yeah, consequences like we get 5,000 gold. We'll be rich.
Why did Callista think this would be a teachable moment? Fine.
Callista, I feel like this has been a really good talk.
Uh-huh.
Did you say rich? And it's
God.
and standing behind you is Clarion in his human form with his large greatsword over his back, standing back behind you. And rich, you say? What is going to bring you these riches?
Lachlan's
Hey.
stupidity.
He doesn't disagree. Gnomes. Interesting little
Tell
creatures.
me about it. Interesting is a word.
We embrace, the cheerfulness of life.
I must admit, I have quite a collection of my own riches.
Do you?
I do. Actually, I do have something that I'd like to give to you, the group. But I have left it inside my citadel. I was going to invite all of you over, if you wouldn't mind making a short journey.
Where's your citadel?
On top of one of the nearby mountains.
Would you say it's, north, south, east, west?
Just possibly a little bit to the northwest.
Great.
Just a few flap of the wings.
I
Can you
don't
get
know
us
that I
there
have those.
in a timely manner? We have small legs with us.
I suppose I could give you all a ride. Of course, would like to bring along my dwarven friends.
Of course.
I need to make sure it's only a quick trip. I want to make sure that these frost giants haven't been snooping around.
And could you get us back south a little bit after our visit with you?
Well, I could. I do need to take my dwarven friends back to Queen Dagnabbit.
Right.
Some arrangements could be made, I feel.
Callista, I think we have to do the right thing. I think we have to help this,
Lachlan, don't even start about the right thing. You're the last person I want to hear that from.
Fair enough.
And as you guys are having this conversation, Diana begins to approach. And you kind of see her as she approaches you guys, just kind of waving off some children that have just been giving her a hug and kind of been like following her around for a couple blocks. And she's just kind of like just waving to them as they kind of go back off with their families and things like that. A lot of the families and people have started to kind of come back into the streets, kind of assessing the damage, and things are starting to kind of pick up a little bit around Bryn Shander again. It's kind of like a late afternoon time frame, I believe, is where we're at in this part. Diana, are you still with us?
Yeah, I had
Okay.
to close Roll20 because it freezes on me, all the time.
Gotcha.
Um,
Yeah, I noticed that your camera
at
had
some
frozen, but
yeah, I know. At some point, Diana also would go to a temple after all of the things have been dealt with. But she homegirl needs to pray at some point, just on her
Okay.
personal checklist.
sure, you got it. On your way, you kind of gotten some directions to one of the temples. Actually, as people started to recognize your symbols of Ilmater, they actually pointed you to what was called the House of the Triad, where there is a temple kind of dedicated to the Triad gods, and one of them happens to be Ilmater. So you're actually headed that way whenever you kind of were walking by the town hall, and you see Callista and
Do I
Lachlan.
run into them on the
And-
way?
Yeah, you're kind of running into them on the way as they're standing out there with Clarion, just kind of in the midst of conversation.
Hey guys, what's up? How you doing?
Wait, I gotta talk to you later, but we'll be fine, hopefully.
Ooh, we're gonna have a gossip session, girl. Yes.
Yeah, gossip's a word.
Well, I was on my way towards the temple of the Triad thing, unless there's any other business here.
Well, we do have to go to the palace later tonight, and Clarion is offering us an evening at his citadel a little bit later. So we have time.
Citadel. Okay. That's cool. We'll take out my little day planner and jot this down.
Nice.
Cool. If I'm not immediately needed, would you guys mind if I went over to the temple?
Yeah, sure. We can meet at the palace around sunset.
Alright, yeah, sure, that sounds good.
Okay, I'll see you there.
So Diana starts to make her way to the house of the Triad. And Diana, as you walk through the large red doors of this temple, you walk in and you see that there is a priest and another individual on their knees, kind of with their hands folded, and a very confused looking Moby is standing there. And it seems like these other two men are praying a lot of things about courage and granting them courage, and thanking Torm, the god Torm, for sending such brave individuals that were willing to be able to stand up for the safety of the people of Bryn Shander. As you walk in, they don't seem to notice you walk in as they're deep in prayer, but Moby notices you right away.
My mouth word help.
And you're kind of torn, Diana, because you're kind of glad to see Moby like in this situation, but then you can see like he is totally out of his element.
I just wave like a soccer mom and I whisper, "It'll be good for you." And I go and sit in front of Ilmater's temple or dais or whatever they got set up for. What the word was.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's at the front of the temple there's like 3 separate altars, one for each one of the deities with their symbols adorned on each one of the temple. Is you kind of like kneel down there and you begin to pray and kind of take some time to relax and spend some time. Eventually, as you're praying, you feel a hand kind of rest on your shoulder, Diana. It kind of startles you at first, but you're kind of intent on your prayer, and it appears that the priest has kind of made his way over, and he's just kind of like just putting a reassuring hand on your shoulder as you pray.
Okay, I grasp it and I say thank you very much. And
Breeze touching
I'm
young
back
girls.
distracted by JJ's comment, and you should go somewhere perfectly innocent.
Damn it.
They are helping each other. Yeah.
So he kind of looks towards you and he's like, a cleric of Ilmater here in Bryn Shander.
Yeah. Helping out, doing what I can for the people, it's kind of the deal.
Well, it seems I've already heard of your great deeds today. It seems like something a cleric of Ilmater would do.
Thank you. I'm just trying to stay faithful. Just trying to, So
you definitely are.
Thank you. Do you I don't know, do you talk to people of other deities? If they ever seek advice or wisdom, guidance?
From time to time. It kind of depends on the advice and wisdom and guidance that they're seeking. You seem to be troubled yourself. Do you have something on your mind?
Dreams from past. I can't get them out of my head, and I've prayed, and they just keep coming back, and I don't know why.
Dreams from the past, huh?
Of a friend, Salim. He was in the forest where we grew up. He was my only friend, and watched him die. It's pretty cool, pretty fun. Except it's not.
Yeah.
And it just...
Yeah, that doesn't seem like something that would be very fun.
Yeah. And I just don't know why Ilmater keeps showing me this again and again. As soon as I think I'm past it, it returns.
Do you think that Do you think that Ilmater could be just trying to push you farther to your purpose? Ilmater is the god of caring for those who suffer. Maybe he's reminding you of your own suffering, so that way you can continue to relate to the people that you serve.
That would make sense.
Maybe it'll continue to give you greater compassion for them, knowing that you are going through the same situation.
That's very comforting. Still a dick move, though.
he kind of chuckles a little bit at that. Well, I know Ilmater needs people like you down here, especially here in Bryn Shander. Especially with all the things that are happening here in the north right now. And now that we've seen these giants firsthand and what they can do, not just hearing these stories from other towns and other villages, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need someone who can relate to their suffering. Someone who can speak encouraging and kind words into their hearts and lift their spirits. I think that person is you.
Thank you, Sir Priest. For...
You can call me Delavan. And he holds out his hand. Delavan Ludwig is my name.
Delavan. Thank you, Delavan, for your clarity and guidance. Much.
Can I get you anything? Do you need a blanket or something to drink?
Oh, no, I was just heading out. Thank you. Just
Yes,
needed
sir.
to talk with someone.
It looks like I heard you speaking a little bit to your red-haired gnomish friend over there. Is he okay?
He is as good as he gets, I think.
As good as he gets. That's a fair way to put it. He seems to have a lot on his mind as well, so I would encourage you to keep a lookout for him. It's just a sense that I have.
Thank you. I will definitely follow through on that. I'll take an interest in him and try to help him
Thank
as much as I can, as much as he will let me.
Moby, as the individual is finishing his prayer with you, you all of a sudden, as you decide for some reason you're going to just close your eyes and see what happens during this prayer. And all of a sudden, your kind of vision seems to fade into this clouded image of this dark, black, kind of misty smoke. And it starts to kind of fill your mind as you're kind of visualizing this. And then all of a sudden, stepping through this cloud of black, misty smoke, there is a tall, slender figure that starts to walk through the smoke. And the smoke kind of just starts to drift away from this face that begins to appear out of the black smoke. And as the face kind of emerges, the body emerges as well. And you can see that it's a tall, slender female character that walks out, wearing this large kind of black cloak that kind of heads on down. And her face, it's almost like she's wearing a mask that is completely void of anything but these two dark black eyes in the center. Her hair is almost perfectly straight as it drifts down the side, probably almost down to just a little bit above her waist. As she walks out of this, there's a little bit of a shimmer of a purple highlighted glow, almost as if a reflection of some kind of light is reflecting off her shiny hair. The figure just looks towards you and tilts its head to one side just a bit, and then begins to raise her arms up. And as she raises her arms, you notice that there are these two wings of black feathers that just are attached to the bottom of her hands. And she has these long, lanky fingers, and at the end of them are these large kind of claws, almost look like bird talons, as she holds out her hands. And then she brings them kind of forward towards you, as if she's waiting, almost as if to embrace you.
Instinctively, Moby goes to take a step back, but finds himself moving forwards.
So Moby slowly starts to take steps forward. And as you get closer, you're kind of slowly headed closer to her. You're probably within 8 feet from her as she has her hands out. Very long hands with these large, her cloak is very big at the end and they're drooping down. Then all of a sudden, within that last 8 feet, she jolts forward towards you and embraces you in this full embrace. And you...
I'm cowering. I've got my hands like...
And for a second, you go cold. There's this chill that just emerges, from deep within somewhere. You're not really sure where it's coming from, but it's just sending this chill down the just the deepest parts of your bones. Like everything is just chilled, and you can feel her breath, kind of like cascading off of your side of your face into your ear, as she has you in this embrace. And then you hear the calls of the raven. The cawing of a raven. And then she backs away from the embrace and puts one hand under your chin and lifts your chin up to look at her right in her dark black eyes. You cannot see. There's no eye there. It's just these black shapes of eyes. And she leans forward, almost as if she's kissing you on the forehead. And as what would be lips on this mask touch your forehead, you feel that same chill come over you, and then all of a sudden she explodes and bursts into all these black birds, small black ravens, and they start to swirl around you, creating this wind that's kind of blowing, whipping your red hair all around. And then as the ravens dissipate, the fog dissipates as well. And you hear the guy that's praying with you say, "Amen." And that's where we're going to take our break for this evening.
Oh my god.
I'm never praying again. Fuck it.
He broke our paladin.
Oh boy.
Oh, so thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Twitch chat, you guys have been excellent, man. I just love all the stuff that you guys are coming up with in there, man. We have some awesome names for Lachlan's his
goblin.
Yeah, the goblin names have been outstanding. Yeah, this is awesome. So yeah, you guys keep on being active in Twitch chat tonight. If you haven't followed us yet, make sure you hit that follow button. If you want to subscribe and help support our channel, you can do that as well. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube. But right now we're going to take a short break. If you know any friends that are bored and they need something to do this Friday night, go ahead and send them a text message. Say, hey, get on Proficiency bonus tonight. Watch this episode. All right? We'd love for you guys to join us. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you guys in just a couple minutes. welcome back, everybody. This is Storm King's Thunder, episode 19, right here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, the Dungeon Master for tonight. And we are going to dive right back in. As we last left off, Moby was doing some praying in a temple and was visited by an interesting entity that stood in front of him, almost like a faceless female with black feathered wings, who embraced him and then kind of seemed to drift off and vanish into a cloud of small ravens as the person he was praying with said amen. Diana had finished praying as well and talking to one of the priests, who gave her some encouraging words on some things that she's been struggling with. Callista and Lachlan have been engaged in deep conversation, sometimes confessions of things that took place earlier, and Molfin seems to be continuing to work his unseen servant, getting people in the town hall the supplies that they need and bringing them water. Some of them still afraid to drink it because it was delivered to them by it just floated to them somehow. Because they cannot see the servant, they can only see the bottle and the cups that are coming to them. So we're just going to dive right into where we left off. I'm going to send it back over to Callista and Lachlan as you guys are standing with Clarion. You guys left off in front of Town Hall. What is it that you guys would be doing at this point?
Not much, I guess. I'm just keeping an eye on Lachlan now.
Okay.
I'm under my best behavior right now.
I'm also probably feeding Cleo some rations.
Okay.
Calm her down.
Cleo's pretty hungry. Cleo starts to just kind of rapidly consume those rations.
You're sure that's healthy to feed to a griffin?
For the moment, I'm kind of out of wild shape at the moment, so I can't really go hunting, but I'll go hunting later.
Yeah. Okay.
Not second guessing your parenting or anything.
It's fine. Where does Clarion want to meet after the? Is he coming with us to the palace? Like, I don't know if that was an invitation extended to him, or was it just me and Diana when she talked to us?
I think it was just to your party. I don't think it was to Clarion. They seem to be okay with Clarion. They all discovered that he was a dragon in disguise, but they probably are, a little bit skittish. But you have the sense that maybe Devessa knows of Clarion.
What was that?
You kind of have a sense that maybe Devessa, the town speaker, knows of Clarion already. Like she may already. You just have the sense that she already knows him in some way. Especially if his citadel is near Bryn Shander, the people might already know of Clarion. And you guys aren't 100% certain, because I think a long time ago you guys made checks and didn't really do too good on them. You sense like his actions are very are noble and good, probably more on the lawful side of things. So you guys, seeing what he's been doing, starting to notice kind of the nature of what kind of dragon he is. Molfin, anything you would be doing in particular as you're kind of just looking over these people? The people are kind of starting to come out of the town hall a bit and kind of disperse a little bit, as they kind of are getting word all around that the threat has kind of been dispersed.
Once the conversation is over between Callista and Molfin would just sort of slowly walk his way out. It was more watching them not to overtly intrude on their moment. And then just sort of interpose, sort of stand like a half a foot behind the two of them, but right between them. Just standing there, leaning on the little staff he carries with him, just...
Nice.
I'll ask Clarion if he needs anything else from us while we have time, and if not, we can meet him at the tavern after our dinner at the palace?
He kind of looks towards you, Callista. No, don't need anything. I just need to gather my dwarven friends. I think they were talking about visiting the same tavern. So I
Visiting
imagine
what?
visiting that same tavern.
Calvin's Comfort?
I feel as if a few of them are still mourning the loss of their friend, which is understandable.
Of course.
I will go gather them, and I will meet you at the tavern after your dinner.
Sounds good.
After
you.
party.
For everything.
After party. So Clarion kind of turns around and kind of walks off in the direction of the southwest gate. Moby and Diana, you guys are kind of getting yourself kind of all geared back up inside the temple, thinking about heading back to catch up with your friends. The man that's been talking to you, Moby, just all of a sudden just realizes that he never even gave you his name, and kind of he just starts to apologize like crazy. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Sirac. I never even mentioned your name. I mentioned my name. I was just so, I guess I was so flustered that of my father's name, and it come up and with the giants. I apologize.
Well, Sirac, it's nice to meet you. I'm Moby. This is Diana.
Hi.
Hi, Diana. It's nice to see you again. I was explaining to Moby here on the way to the temple that I feel somewhat responsible for all that's happened. See, Artis Simber is the name of my father. I was given up for adoption at a very young age, so I don't really know much of my father, but I do know that he does possess something very powerful.
Do you know where to find him?
I do not, but I was explaining to Moby on the way here that I remember something about the name Roaring Horn, family name, somehow rings a bell. I remember they were a noble family from Waterdeep. Perhaps they know where my father is, but other than that...
What were their names again?
The Roaring Horn family.
Roaring Horn family. Yes.
They have... for some reason, I think they have to have some sort of villa in Waterdeep. And Moby, as he continues to talk about Waterdeep, you remember that Lachlan's family is actually from They currently live in Waterdeep. And they sent Lachlan back to you because he was getting into a lot of trouble. They were hoping that maybe if they got into, like, if Lachlan was around a smaller city, like Waterdeep's a pretty big place, they thought that maybe if he was around a little bit of a smaller city that didn't have as much thievery and guilds and things going on, that maybe it might help to kind of clean him up a bit.
Hopefully something.
So you know a little bit of Waterdeep just based on knowing Lachlan, and it can be a pretty diverse place, but also very dangerous as well, depending on who you fall in with.
Noted.
But then he kind of looks towards you, Diana, and it's like, I wish I would have had the chance to know my father, but maybe one day.
I wish I had. Right. Well, you're not the only one. You're doing good. You're not stealing from giants or whatever it is that he did, so the gods have a plan. Keep on doing it.
He kind of nods his head a little bit at you. Like, I shall.
Yeah.
I think I found the right place for me.
And that is just such a wonderful feeling. I think I have too.
Great. Well, if you find out anything about my father, if you're back in the area, I would love to know.
Absolutely. What was his name again?
Artis Simber.
Artis Simber, son of Look at me forgetting people's names everywhere.
Father of
No,
Sirac.
Artis Simber is the father of the guy you're talking to.
Yes.
Oh, father. Oh, I meant the name of the son. That was why I was confused.
No,
I was like, I thought Artis was the
Sirac?
other guy.
And it appears that the son is aware that he has something in his possession that is very powerful.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, well, I'll just give him a shoulder pat and Obi and be like, so, how was it?
What's with you people and shoulders? Why is it always the shoulder?
It's friendly, but it's not creepy, that's why.
Are you sure?
I'm sure I would rather shoulder pat someone than, like, grab them, you know? So we're
Like a hug.
in the churches, you know, there were issues in the past. We really need to track it down.
Wow,
We
would you look
had-
at the time? I think we better be going.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are having this conversation as you're walking out the main aisle of the temple, and you're kind of walking out into the cold snow as you hear the priest and them kind of shout their goodbyes as you guys are headed out, and you kind of hear one of them kind of mumble, "It's like I do hope the gods keep them safe," as you guys kind of walk out,
I hope so.
and you guys find yourself outside. Where are you guys actually headed? Diana, the last place that you saw Lachlan and Callista and Molfin were in front of the town hall a little while ago.
They said to meet them. I turned to Moby. Callista said to meet everybody in front of the palace when we were ready, when it was evening time, so we could go to this party we were invited to, and then that we're the honored guests of. So I'm thinking we head back to the tavern, we get all spiffy, we go back to the palace in the evening, meet everybody, and have a good old time.
I could always do with another bottle of peach schnapps. Speaking of, and I reach into my hair. Did you want some peach schnapps?
Sure, I'll have a shot.
I don't have any glasses. You just have to drink from the bottle. And I
Okay.
into the bottle.
Is it a cork, or can I pour a little cap full?
It's a cork, I think.
I can pour a cap full?
It's a cork.
Oh, it's a cork. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you gotta chug that right out of the bottle.
I gotta chug it. Okay, Diana will chug some peach schnapps. I can't even say it. That's how little I know of this.
Diana starts to chug some of the peach schnapps.
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 Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's really good. Mo, that was nice.
It doesn't. A lot of people don't like it initially. And I grab the bottle back and take a swig, and then
But it's
cork back in.
like, what is there to not like?
It's just not everyone has the same taste as me.
People are
You
dumb.
guys, as you guys are walking and talking and drinking, you guys notice Sheriff Markham is walking with haste all around some of these buildings with a couple of guards, and he's like pointing in a direction. You kind of hear, "Oh, where is he?" As they're kind of like moving around, like looking, checking different directions and things like that. As he's just like crunching in the snow with some haste, he looks a little bit flustered and a little bit angry.
Uh-oh, how you doing there, pal? Hey.
Ugh, not so good. You, check over there! And he's like just shouting over at different guards and kind of giving commands.
What's going on?
He kind of gets closer to you so that that it's not something that's like too loud. And he's like, "What if
I lean in real close and I move my hair away from my ear.
The individual you interrogated?
Yeah.
He got out."
Oh. Boy, that's bad.
It kind of is. I mean, I don't see him as much of a threat, but I don't need him out there snooping around.
Oh,
It's
no.
bad, but
Okay.
it's not as bad as giants demolishing a whole city. You know,
Yes.
so I think you can count this as a win. Really,
Effective. From the
giants crushing the city or a guy escaping jail. Oh.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why we only have a small patrol out looking for him right now, because there are more important matters to deal with. What are you guys doing right now?
Oh,
Peach
we're just
schnapps?
headed to the tavern. What are we doing, Moby? What more are we doing?
Peach schnapps. You look like you've had a bad day.
Stop. It's
Oh.
really good. Like, really good.
I'd love to right now, but I've got too much work to do.
Alright,
Well,
those
suit
go.
yourself. I'll call it again. Have a drink.
I will take a swig more peach schnapps, because Diana likes to drink.
Well, you two were also invited to the palace, correct?
Oh, it's a
Yes,
big
we-
thing. Like everyone's going.
Well,
It's not just.
I will be there, but I just wanted to make sure that you were both going to attend.
Yes, we are. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, great. Well, I will see you shortly. I'm going to continue to get this search underway.
Is there a
Alright.
dress code or anything? Like, or can we just, come as we are?
It's frigid cold outside. Come as you are. My goodness.
Okay, well, I'm still doing my hair. I mean, please, if it's not in an intricate braid, then am I really elven?
he kind of runs his hand over his completely bald head, and he's like, I wouldn't know what that is like.
I can't even touch the top of my hair. It's
it's way out of reach. All you people and all your hair. He
New
kind
goal, braid Moby's hair.
he kind of pulls his jacket back over him, and he starts kind of trudging
dreads.
off. I'll see.
With the squirrel still inside it.
And,
Little cage.
it's like ripping down a rainforest, like destroying his home.
So you guys were headed to the tavern first and then to the palace? Is that what the goal was for everybody? Or you guys headed straight to the palace once you guys got...
Well, what time is it?
We
Yeah.
can say that time passes here a
Sure,
little
let's
bit,
just jump it.
because it
There's nothing I want to do.
it
Yeah,
seems like there's
'cause I don't
nothing
think
everybody
it's
really has
available.
as something they really want to do right now other than...
Lachlan,
prepare.
more brandy.
Lachlan, did you catch that?
No, internet froze. What's up?
Lachlan, some more brandy before we go to the palace.
Great idea. We should, get a little relaxed before we show up. First round's on me.
And I shall get the second.
Okay.
All right, so Mulfin and Lachlan are headed back to Kelvin's Comfort.
I'm following Lachlan.
Okay. You guys head back into the tavern. It seems to be just hustling and bustling as people are trying to come and kind of drink their sorrows away and drink their fears away from the recent events that occurred during the day. It's getting kind of like early evening now as people are starting to kind of come out and get something to eat and have something to drink. Mulfin, you guys head to the bar, and the barkeep, the dwarf with the fiery red looking beard, walks up to you again. I see you're back.
But of course, seeking to purchase a bottle of your finest fire whiskey, fire brandy, that wonderful drink from earlier.
Oh, fire beards. Fire brandy, yes.
Yes, that's the one.
Let me come over. Let me see exactly how much of
Could you also hook me up with some sweet wine, a bottle?
some sweet wine. Yes, I can see what I have. And he's kind of like starts to look around. He pulls down a bottle of fire brandy, and I need to double check something on that. I also need to make sure Moby erases his.
Moby erases what?
He has got to erase some money for his bottle of peach schnapps that he had. Before he pulls down the fire brandy, he finds this this nice bottle of wine that's corked. It's in like a greenish tinted bottle. You can see that there's a very dark kind of looks like a red wine inside of it. He kind of blows some dust off of it and sets it down on the bar in front of you. Callista says, "Aye, this is a very rare find. I didn't even remember I had it."
How much?
This is a very fine bottle of wine. It's gonna cost you.
I've had a rough day.
This bottle of wine here is 10 gold pieces.
I will give him 15.
Woo! Splendid! And he takes it and he pockets it and it slides over the red wine. Like the label's even like hard, like you can barely read, like you can't even tell what type of wine it is because the label's so like worn out. This looks like a very old wine that's probably aged to perfection.
I'm not drinking it yet, but I'm pocketing it, and then I'm also gonna ask him if he has some raw beef.
Raw beef? You don't want us to cook it?
No.
I'm staring at her like.
It's not
He
for
kind of
me.
gives you an odd look, but then he goes over to one of his.
I kind of pull up Cleo. I'm like, she's hungry.
Oh.
Turn into a bear and eat that raw beef.
I was gonna be like, yeah, bear appetite.
I mean, I do like mine raw, but whatever.
He kind of like starts whispering over to one of his barmaids. He's kind of like giving you an awkward look as he's doing so, but he kind of goes back and the barmaid kind of disappears into a kitchen area. And then he pulls down a bottle of Firebeard's fire brandy and sets it down in front of Mulfin. He says, "Oh, and this will cost you about 8 gold pieces, my friend."
At the moment, Roll20 is frozen for me, so I have no idea how much.
Yeah, your camera went black, so I figured something was going on. Okay.
It's working its way back.
Yeah, your camera's back now, so. Go ahead and make it. Can you make an insight check for me, Mulfin?
Sure. Hopefully. It's thinking. Come on, Mulfin, show off. Somebody got an angry poodle attacking their microphone?
Yeah, every so often I hear it. Great.
Looks like someone's starting up a lawnmower or something.
Cleo's purring!
Sorry, my phone vibrates whenever I touch it, so when I went to unlock the screen, it kind of like probably.
Oh, that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Insight.
Yeah, the price seems fair to you.
Oh. It seems a valid price, but I seem to be a little short here. Oh, Lachlan.
Yeah.
How would you like to chip in on this bottle of brandy with me? I seem to only have 4 gold pieces.
I dig around in my pockets and pull them out. I have 3.5. Did we get anything from all those giants?
Lachlan, as you're digging in your pockets, you realize you have that other pouch that Blakely threw at you from inside the sheriff's.
I want to peek in there.
As you open it up, you see that there are 17 gold pieces and 25 silver pieces inside this pouch.
Oh. Gramps, this one is on me.
Are you certain?
I owe you a lot.
Well, it is my pleasure then. I'll have
And I'll
Lachlan pay. I'll grab the bottle.
How much was it? It was 14, 15?
I think you said it was 8.
Oh, it was 8? Okay.
It was 7. I think I said 7 for
7.
that one. 10 for
Okay.
the bottle of wine that Callista bought.
Okay.
So,
Pop the top and offer Lachlan the first shot if he wants it.
Gramps, you deserve that honor. I'll take the second.
And hand it over.
I watched the CB dies.
okay, Lachlan, or excuse me, Molfin, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
What was that?
Make a Constitution saving throw. This Firebeard's brandy tastes a little stronger for some reason.
Oh no!
You're not really sure
Oh no.
why it tastes stronger.
Whatever it is, I'm going to find out in a second. That's a 7.
Okay.
The
As
wizard's
you,
going to be blackout drunk at the party.
as you finish this drink and set it down, you kind of just like, yeah, Yeah, it's like it's really strong. And you look over at Lachlan, and on Lachlan's shoulder, you see this little green man sitting on Lachlan's shoulder, and it starts to talk to you. It goes, "Hey, Muffin, how are you doing? What are you doing, Muffin? Why do you keep drinking all this stuff all the time? You know it's not right. Stop staring at me like you don't know what's going on, you moron."
Gramps, why are you looking at me like that?
Lachlan, who is that? What is that on your shoulder?
Don't talk to him. He has no idea I'm even here. See, look, and he starts slapping him in the face, but Lachlan, you don't feel anything. But Molfin, you see this little green man slapping Lachlan with the backhand.
Oh, this is one of those things like Lachlan's like Moby and that weird bird he speaks to. Apparently, this is.
What are you talking about? Are you okay?
A bird?
There's
A bird?
There's a little man sitting on your shoulder that is speaking to me.
You said bird, all of a sudden it turns into a green flamingo sitting on his shoulder. I can look like this too, you see? And it starts to like turn its head back and forth and starts like moving its head all around. And
Lachlan, can you not see the? It's a bird on your shoulder.
I put my hand on his forehead to see if he has a fever.
You're looking the bird.
I look at the barkeep. What's in that?
it's that's Firebeard's fire brandy. It can do some.
Is this normal?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Is it any
God.
good? And I take a swig.
Oh god.
Make a Constitution save for me.
All right.
We have a.
Lachlan, it burns a little bit, but you kind of set it back down, and you seem to feel okay. Molfin, for mechanical reasons, for the next 2 hours, you suffer from mild hallucinations.
He's gonna roll into him.
And you also have disadvantage on all attack rolls and skill checks for 2 hours.
Hooray!
Black tie event on acid.
Is there
I'm gonna be walking around.
Are Moby and I
This is gonna be
there yet?
great.
Can we soak them up?
What's that?
Are Moby and I there yet? Can we soak them up?
Yeah. You guys are there. Yeah. You guys are
Okay.
kind of like as you walk in, you're watching. And Molfin is acting like a complete. I mean, you guys have no idea what is going on. He's like pointing at Lachlan, telling him there's a man on his shoulder.
Moby,
Theo
Oh.
says personification of liver +1.
They've done something.
Moby, Moby, meet my bird. Birdie person, what is your name?
My name? You want to know my name? My name is Edgar.
What
Edgar?
are you
This
talking
is-
about? I don't see
I
any
offer the
bird
bottle to
Molphin.
Moby.
Moby,
Oh,
how
no
can
thanks.
you not
I have
see
my
Edgar?
own. And I pull out the peach schnapps.
That looks
I don't think there's any
disgusting.
more absinthe-filled liquor at this table right now.
What are you looking for?
Molfin's
Diane?
making sure he takes his bottle and puts it in his little bag.
I look at the barkeep. Where's the meat?
Oh, it's coming right up. I'm sorry. Let me go see what's the holdup. And he kind of walks back into the kitchen. As you do so, Molfin, as you're done finishing putting that bottle down, all of a sudden the bird that's sitting on the shoulder, Edgar, your new friend, decides to just disappear inside of Lachlan's head. Like he almost like dives into his ear. And you see Lachlan's eyes turn green and they start to bulge out of his head in front of you. And he starts to go, and as one bulges and the other bulges, and the other one bulges and the other one bulges. And he just starts going like this. And it's just, it just keeps on repeating.
Gramps, are you okay? You okay there?
Takes both hands right on Lachlan's eyes.
Gramps, I can't see.
I have to keep them in your head. Edgar has crawled in through your ear and is
Who's
popping
Edgar?
your eyeballs out. Really, Lachlan, are you not listening to me? Lachlan was the little man that turned into a bird and is now living in your brain.
A bird brain. How appropriate.
Can I send you out to the pasture, Gramps?
Wait.
You know, they have homes for this kind of behavior.
Yeah, I'm getting a little worried.
No one looks at you funny when you talk to your bird. Why is everyone giving me a hard time over it?
I don't see any bird, Molfin.
Well, that's because it crawled into his ear.
What?
After,
Creature-
as your hands are on his eyes, and as soon as Moby says that, I don't see a bird. You see that green form start to kind of come out of Lachlan's eyes. It almost looks like a cloud, and then it starts to like a cloud that looks, I don't know, and then starts to take the form of a snake and starts to wrap around your wrist. And then as you kind of turn your hand over, it opens up into a green spyglass. And then it has a mouth on the side with eyes, and it looks at you, Molfin, and says, "Tell your friend to look through this. Maybe he'll see it."
Okay, here, look through this.
Look through.
There's nothing in
For
your
what?
hands, Molfin.
I think we need to keep him away from alcohol from now on. I think he might be allergic or something.
How can you not see it?
I rest my chin on Molfin's hand.
Molfin picks it up and looks through it.
Yeah, Molfin looks like he's holding absolutely nothing, and he's looking around the room. Molfin, as you look through it, you can just see everybody's faces through the end of this spyglass, and they kind of, some of them get bigger, and then some of them fade out, and then some of them kind of get bigger into the view, so they keep on. It's all the faces of the people in the bar, even your friends. You see Moby's face like get closer, and they're all laughing hysterically, and it seems like they're laughing at you. And then Diana's face pops up and it's laughing at you, and then Callista's hood-covered face like pops up and it's laughing at you, and then all of a sudden you see the hood come off and her bright hair like showing, and she's just like, ah!
Oh God!
And she's like laughing like hysterically at you.
Molfin was doing okay until he saw Diana laugh.
Well,
Take the glass. Looking around, though, does it look like they're all laughing when he takes it down?
When you pick it down, it looks like everybody's just kind of doing their own thing, drinking.
This seems to be an odd contraption.
You throw it, it turns into a bird and comes over and sits on your shoulder. And just kind of sits there. And Callista, as this is happening, the barkeep kind of brings over a wrapped piece of, it's kind of like a freezer type paper that brings out here's the meat you requested.
I'm sure that 15 gold will cover it.
Aye, 15 gold, perfect. Yeah, that was perfect.
Yep.
He hands it over to you. Doesn't seem to want to argue with you at all about that.
I kind of heat it up a little bit with my Druidcraft Fire Hands produce flame a little bit, so it's not like frozen.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And start feeding it to Cleo.
Hey, what are you doing with that in here?
What?
What are you feeding your animal? You feeding your pets inside my establishment?
Do you have a problem? I paid.
You did, but it's making a mess. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
I Druidcrafting like clean it up a little bit.
Don't
Any
worry,
more
I'll have
complaints?
Edgar here clean it up.
I like light my hand again. Any more complaints?
Ugh. And he kind of just like walks away from you. He doesn't say yes or no. He just like leaves. He just walks away.
And I just snuff it and then go back to feeding Cleo.
That's why I keep Mannix in my hair. I mean, I've been into a lot of places. They always tell me to get out, but you know, if he hides in the hair, I can just bolt right in.
That's not how I work.
Yeah, you don't have hair like me.
No. And I don't feel like hiding her.
Oh, Mannix just wants to hide.
True.
So,
Edgar, go find the squirrel.
what? What am I going to find?
Go find the squirrel. It lives in the tall red bush.
Ah, man, you really are wasted.
No respect for my age or my station.
So, some time passes. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to do at this point before you guys head over to the palace?
Nope.
Diana was going to get ready, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, I was going to get Molfin and Locke sober, maybe, but you know, I'm just gonna do my hair. And that's all.
Priorities.
There you go. So Diana fixes up her hair a bit, and you guys head off. It's been about an hour has passed, so Molfin is still talking to this Edgar figure that you guys have no idea what's going on. As you guys make your way towards the palace. The palace itself is more to the kind of like the central southern part of town, just a little bit away from where you guys are. So just maybe about a couple blocks walk to find the palace. And as you guys make your way to the palace, it is definitely a nicer establishment than anywhere else, and you guys can kind of determine that it's probably the speaker's own private residence, where some of the things may have happened, like business-wise, happen in the town hall. This is kind of this is where she lives. It's, you know, fashion. You can tell that this is a dwarven establishment crafted with stone. It has this nice pitched slate roof with a colonnade in the front, and it kind of stands out because there's a lot of rough wood dwellings, a lot of wood houses that were built from some of the timbers from this hillside and these mountains of the Icewind Dale. But this almost looks like it's been like magically transported here somehow. Like it's just that kind of weird and odd, like as it stands out.
Oh my god, it's Singorn.
It's not a huge place by any means, but it's, you know, it kind of stands out compared to the rest. So as you guys kind of are welcomed in to the place, it almost seems like they bring you in front of this grand table that's already kind of set out with some appetizer type things in the center of the table. The table's been set very neatly. They have a couple servers that are walking around that are kind of, you know, helping you guys have a seat at different areas of the table. You guys can see that Markham, the sheriff, is already there. Sitting at one side of the table, already munching on a couple rolls as he's getting ready. Duvessa isn't at the table just yet, but you can hear her kind of talking in a room adjacent to the room that you guys are getting comfortable in. As you guys sit down, you guys can see that Markham has his kind of mouth full, but he kind of acknowledges all of you and kind of nods as you guys come in. You can see that there are some different items out. You can see that there's several different things like kind of like I would want to say like different seafood items that are out that you guys can enjoy with rolls and bread and things like that. And the servers all come and kind of pour you all fresh glasses of water and ask you all if you'd like a glass of wine to go with your meal.
I'll have the wine.
Molfin's like, bring it on. So,
Can
I have one for Edgar
one of
as
us
well?
step in and just kind of be like, he'll have water.
Yes. Yeah, I don't want Molfin to have more, so I would tell the servers to give him
Okay.
water.
So as Molfin,
I slip him a silver and I say, give him wine.
No.
one of them like walks up and kind of takes Molfin's order. Oh, two glasses of wine. I see. And he starts to walk back, and then Callista and Diana are like, cut him off. No. And then as he's walking farther, then Lachlan like leans over and hands him, yes, sir. And he kind of slips it into his kind of like a back pouch, the back pocket that he has, and heads on back out of the room. Eventually, Devessa walks in, and she sits down at the head of the table, kind of giving a little curtsy before she sits down to everybody, and just looks at you all. I'm so glad that you guys could join us tonight. And she sits down and she said, please make sure you help yourself to some of the appetizers. The main course will be coming out shortly. I do hope that the rest of the day was not too much of a trouble for all of you.
Pretty relaxed. Nothing happened, really.
I just glare at Lachlan.
Yeah, Devessa's kind of shaking
Take
her
a
head.
long drink.
Devessa kind of shakes her head. She's like, I wish today wouldn't have gone the way it has, but to be honest, it turned out a lot better than I was feared that it might. And, she looks over to Sheriff, and I guess we both agree that it's thanks to all of you and our friend Clarion that Bryn Shander is in the position that it is in right now.
Well, it was our pleasure.
I'll pull my hood back a little bit and look at the lady and pretty much just give her a slight nod and say I'm sorry for stealing your horn, but time was of the essence.
She kind of nods. I do appreciate the apology. I just feel that as Speaker of Bryn Shander, it is my responsibility to be the voice of the people. And in situations like that, it falls on my shoulders. And she kind of looks towards Markham and she looks at all of you. And says, I know that our main course hasn't arrived yet. And as she's saying this, the people are bringing out glasses of wine, and they're just kind of setting them out to everybody who ordered. And this individual sets 2 in front of Molfin, and kind of walks back and kind of winks at Lachlan.
He's sorry. I wink back, slip him another silver. I'm coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do we see that?
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Ooh.
And then can we make perception check?
Yeah. Go ahead and make.
Oh no!
Yeah, make that.
They're good at
Make that a
things.
perception check, because you guys asked if you were actively seeing this. Callista, you don't know.
I was mostly looking at Molfin, not Lachlan.
Yeah, you got your eyes on Molfin as he got these 2
Yeah.
glasses of wine in front of him that he's putting down rather quickly.
I'm only drinking one. I keep having a conversation with Edgar and telling him the second one's for him.
Edgar turns into a fish and jumps off of your shoulder into the glass of wine and starts to swim around inside the glass of wine.
I love it. He's having.
Diana, that is not gonna do it.
He's looking at Markham.
Yeah.
How does Molfin keep getting drunker? How does he do it?
Oh.
The fish.
Look at it! He's swimming in the...
Yeah, just keep drinking, Grahams. Just keep drinking.
He pops out of the wine and kind of spits some of it out like a little fountain.
You shouldn't waste that. Given where we are, this is probably a very quality vintage. Let us not be rude to our host.
What have I done?
Markham is just kind of looking over towards Molfin and just looks towards you, and then Diana, you're kind of sitting near him. He kind of like kneels or kind of leans towards you a little bit. I don't think he should have any more.
I agree. It's upsetting the dementia.
Diana, give yourself a point of DM's inspiration, please.
Would Molfin have heard that, or was this too quiet over there?
You can make a perception check with disadvantage because you're drunk.
I will burn my inspiration I earned to make it a straight roll.
Straight roll, okay.
If Roll20 wants to let me. There we go. Opera is not loving me tonight.
Oh my gosh, same. I've closed out like 10 times.
Rude.
I was doing fine for a while, and then all of a sudden it's anything I click offers freezing. Okay, straight roll perception.
Yes.
Come on.
You did hear Diana say that.
Malfoy will just sort of call it. Sheriff, sir, just ignore her. She's still upset. We have not yet settled on a certain conversation that happened in the Giant's Tower.
No, that's been settled. That's settled.
Molfin, as you turn back to the fish that was swimming around in the wine, now there's a little green figure of Diana sitting on the edge of the glass, going, dementia, dementia, dementia,
my God.
dementia, dementia. You're getting old. You're getting old.
What do you mean getting old? I have been old.
Michael,
You-
savage tonight.
You said you liked older gentlemen.
Who? What? Who?
Yeah, Diana has no idea what you're talking about. She's at the other side of the table like, what? That's awesome.
Well, I know we had to talk about going small, but this is ridiculous. You're tiny.
All of a sudden, it now the figure turns into a frost giant.
Like full size?
No, like a miniature version of the frost giant sitting on the edge of the glass, and it steps off of the glass and starts just like trudging around the glass, like Edgar's really mad at you for some reason. He like marches around and goes, Artisimber, Artisimber. Ooh, surrender or die, Artisimber. And it just marches all around this glass. you put your hand down on top of him. So all of a sudden, you guys watch Molfin just slam his hand down onto the table, and Devessa just stops like this and just looks.
There was a fly. It was a fly.
Oh, yeah. It's a little cold for them, don't you think?
You know, they survive everywhere.
They survive everywhere.
At least it wasn't a roach.
So she's like looking at you all kind of. She kind of regathers her, just regathers herself a little bit after this whole Molfin episode. Looks at you and I think we just should cut to the chase. Don't you think, Markham? And the sheriff kind of like looks over at Molfin and says, yes, I think that would be wise. And Markham she kind of gestures towards Markham, and Markham starts to speak to you all. And the reason that we asked you here is to ask a favor, if you are willing to accept. We are willing to offer you the things that you need to handle this. But we are incredibly short-handed right now. I don't have very many deputies. Our guards are very few. All of them are dispersed on the outskirts of Bryn Shander. Some of them are even tracking some of the trails of the frost giants that have left here. But we feel as if our guards are not appropriately equipped to handle such a threat. We would hope that you would be willing to help us. And in return, we can offer you assurance that not only Bryn Shander, but all of 10 towns would aid in anything that you would need.
An army, basically.
Well, just the essentials. We're talking, if you need free room and board at any of our establishments in any of the 10 towns, it could be done. If you, whatever you ask of Duvessa and I could be done.
What exactly are you asking of us?
We fear that some of these frost giants will strike Bryn Shander again. I don't think that we have the manpower here without all of you to be able to withstand attack, especially if they have time to regroup. I'm wanting to know if you would be willing to travel outside the city gates and put one or more of these drastic evil things to rest.
You mean on top of the 3 that we already have?
Well, look who's sober.
Listen! You stop talking and... Morphle looks down.
And you see that there are 3 frost giants now, where you had slammed the first one down, and they're marching around in circles, saying, 3 we already defeated! 3 we already defeated! 3 we already defeated! Oh.
Do you mind? I'm trying to have a conversation.
And 2 of them are trying to push over the wine glass. They're pushing it back and forth, trying to push it over on the table. But to the rest of the party, it's not even moving. It's just sitting there.
Trying to ignore the 3. Looks over at Markham. Are you able to assist in any magical supplies that may be of aid? If the rest of them agree to do this, that would aid me.
He kind of looks at you with a little bit of discouragement in his face. You can already sense even before he answers that it's probably not going to be something that he can do. But he does kind of reach inside of his coat, and he pulls out these, what almost looks like necklaces on these metal bands, and he tosses them into the center of the table. And when they hit the table, they kind of spread out a little bit. And you can see that they are similar to that badge that you guys saw Ogric wearing whenever you walked in. And he says to you, these badges symbolize all of you being considered an official deputy of Bryn Shander. These badges are great honor badges when it comes to not only Bryn Shander itself, but all of 10 towns. These badges make it official. You are all, if you accept, you are all official deputies of the town of Bryn Shander. So they look like police badges made of like silver that are carved, and you can see like the symbols of Bryn Shander on them and different carvings and things on these, and they just basically hang like you see in some of like the CSI shows. They like hang from your neck.
Well, Diana just run away? Oh,
Hello.
you have got
Oh,
to be
no.
kidding me.
Oh, she's got her badge. She's
Aren't you just a little Winchester?
Yeah.
with these badges, also you would be tied to my name, so you'd be able to you'd be able to work on my behalf. It would be like having myself with you as you travel. Also, I have on standby 3 weeks worth of provisions to aid you. If you would be willing to help us.
Attaching your name to us, does that mean that means that even if we do something that's not saying that we will, but that kind of that would drag your name through the mud too. Are you sure?
He kind of
Way to make him
he
confident.
gives you a strange look, and he's like, "Well,
I'm just saying,
hoping
you know,
I am taking quite a risk."
Yes, you definitely are. I just wanted to make sure that we all understood the risks of this situation, because, you know, consent can't come from an uninformed participant. So, just making sure we all are clear.
I completely understand, and he looks towards all of you and is like, "But I haven't seen a group of adventurers like you come through Bryn Shander in quite a long time. I don't think there is any other group in town right now that could possibly do this. That's why I'm pleading to you for your help."
Ooh. I look at the party like, I think it would be an honor. What do you guys think?
Do you think we have time to think about it?
Well, do you think there would be butter in with that proficiency speaks of?
I don't know. No butter. No. There's no need.
He's definitely had way too much to drink.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking if you slather it, maybe it should function like armor. Thank you, Carrot Rope.
Carrot rope.
Carrot rope.
It's all thanks to Twitch chat. They feed all these ideas into Molfin, and Molfin just he just throws them out there. We love Twitch chat.
We do.
150 pounds of butter.
What?
But I would agree with the big Diana, not the little rude one, but
What? What little rude one?
Don't worry about it, my dear. It changed from a little rude you into 3 giants.
As you're saying that, Duvessa stands up, and I'm gonna go check on the main course very quickly. It should have been out here by now. And she walks back through the door.
Oh no, it's probably poisoned.
Markham is kind of just looking towards all of you. Looks towards Moby this time. Is this something that you would all be willing to do?
I mean, I don't speak for everyone, but me personally, I'm trying to find my own way through life. I can't tie myself to something like this. I'd be willing to help you, but I can't tie my name to this.
He kind of looks over towards Lachlan. And you?
I take a long.
Looks towards Molfin, and then turns away from Molfin and looks towards Callista. How about you?
How long do we have to think about this?
Is really as long as you need, but the quicker that we can make a decision and get you on the move, the better. The better for all of Bryn Shander.
I ask that you give us until tomorrow. We have some things to discuss as a group.
Fair enough. I can respect that. I can trust your words, especially from one as brave as you. I would have to admit again, what I saw you do was absolutely insane. But it saved us all.
Thank you.
And at that point, Duvessa walks in with all they're bringing these plates of the main course. It looks like a various, like chicken and different things. Like anything fancy, even steak that are coming out. Like it's just very nice meal she brings out to each of you. You guys can kind of help yourself picking up things with your
I'm feeding Cleo.
fancy silverware. Feeding Cleo off the side.
Yeah. She's in my lap and I'm just like, yeah.
Every now and then you kind of like slip a piece of food down on your lap. And Cleo munches it up. Diana, you have your baby as well with you that is kind of munching away.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
My
And,
nameless baby. I haven't named him yet.
Duvessa, as actually when she walks out, she's actually holding a sealed envelope. Kind of has a wax seal on it that kind of has her like a crest on it, and she hands it over to to Diana, and she gives this to you and says, "This is an important letter I want to give to you. I have an aunt who lives just outside of Waterdeep. She is a captain of a ship called the Dancing Wave.
Okay.
This letter basically speaks of all of your bravery and all of what you did to help us here in Bryn Shander. And upon showing this letter to my aunt,
Yeah.
she is instructed to aid in any travel that you would need up and down the Sword Coast.
Does Callista hear this?
Yeah, she's kind of like saying it so all of you can hear it as she hands Diana the envelope.
Ugh.
Good care.
Callista looks even more antsy right now. She's... Ugh.
And we will, reach a decision as a party. Thank you very much. And I put it in my purse.
Sure. Her name is Enerva Coldwater.
Enerva Coldwater.
Enerva Coldwater is her name. She will take good care of you. The Dancing Wave is a very comfortable ship, used to transport not only passengers but also material goods back and forth along the coast. You will find the accommodations very suitable. And as
Thank you.
And as you continue to travel and continue your quest, I'm sure you will find it much easier to travel upon a ship than to be continuing to caravan or walk back and forth. And then she just kind of, as you guys are doing that, she's got to continue to eat and Nerva drink cold water. Nice, JJ. Nice, JJ. DM's inspiration for JJ.
It's not a natural one.
And as you guys are kind of chomping away, Molfin, you see these 3 green frost giants head over to the chicken. And they start to... The chicken has actually been stuffed, and a lot of people have taken some of the stuffing out of it already. And they start crawling up into the chicken. And then you see, like, a chicken's head, like, pop out where the chicken's head used to be. and it's like green, and it just starts going laughing at you. And at that point, I think that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Hey.
As you guys are all continuing to eat at the table in Duvessa's palace here in Bryn Shander.
The bottle goes on the table. Out of the bag of holding, looks at the bottle once, sets it on the table.
Sets it on the table. Nice. Well, awesome, everybody. Wonderful job. That was amazing. Some great role playing between all of you tonight. It's simply amazing. Thank all of you for joining us tonight. And what I would like to do is I want to give the viewers a chance to chime in. I'm going to leave this totally up to our viewers tonight. So I think we do have a few people that are still active.
Yeah, we got. No, I know of at least one. I'm trying to pull up the viewer list. But...
All right. Yeah. So those of you that are in our Twitch chat right now, tell them to vote for Lachlan. Vote Lachlan. Anybody who's in our viewer chat right now, if there was something that was said or done tonight within our adventure that you feel like one of our party members have earned a free natural 20, I want you to go ahead and type in the name of the character and what it was that they did that kind of stood out to you as something that was something kind of cool from this adventure. And I'm going to throw another one out there. Is there anything that you want to give a natural 1 for?
Oh.
So, any of our viewers, if you'd like to not only award a natural 20, but I'm going to balance it out this time. And we're going to pass out a natural 1. But there's got to be a good nat 1 vote. Yes, Cloppity, LOL. I love it. And I'm putting it all into your hands, Twitch viewers, because we love you that much. So, anybody who is on Twitch chat, go ahead and type in a character, what you want to give them, either the nat 1 or nat 20, and let me know what it is. While we're doing that, I want to also thank Team MZ. I want to thank Many Sided Dice for their constant partnership with us. I also want to thank Nightshade Creations for partnering up with us. We had a really good kickoff to our second season here in Storm King's Thunder. Next week, we will have episode 20.
Whoa!
Of
Wow.
Storm King's Thunder. So it's pretty amazing that we are getting into the 20s of our episodes here. Digitio saying the 20 to Lachlan for holding it together during the guard situation.
Cloppity is saying nat 1 to the DM.
I am forever player. The DM always gets a natural 1 and my vote. Oh man, the viewers have spoken.
Is there any... Here's the question.
Digitio can't think of a 1, so hey, that's pretty good. That means good things about you guys. That's
wow.
I know.
So,
We've got Cogwhistle, Fajuent, Keplin, and I don't know if that's XV Faith or 15 Faith. If you guys want to chime in, feel free.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't followed the channel yet, make sure you hit that follow button, just so you know, be aware of when we go live. You'll get notifications if you turn the notifications thing on. Also, we go live every Monday night with Tomb of Annihilation. Our own Matthew, who plays Molfin in this campaign, is our dungeon master for that. He has an excellent party, including JJ on that adventure as well.
And the most excellent producer.
Yeah, we got producer who plays Lachlan, MG. He produces that show on Monday nights, so make sure you guys tune into that. I try to watch every Monday night when I can. They've got themselves in quite a bit of a mess the last couple of weeks, based on the decisions that party has made, and it's always great to see how they pull themselves out of it.
And they've surprisingly done it every time.
Yes, they have. much like Storm King's Thunder, I know Tomb of Annihilation is a very hard adventure, so it's always cool to see how different parties of adventurers handle it. Yep.
We got another vote. Kepler votes for Lachlan
votes
too.
for Lachlan. Oh my goodness! I have to say, Lachlan had some pretty key moments tonight with the whole.
He was a little
On
suspect.
the guard.
I was
With everybody.
dragging
The
the
whole
guard
getting
down
raked
the
over the
steps was hilarious. Yeah, him like freaking out and putting the guy to sleep. That was pretty cool. So yeah,
He's in jail.
I will
That
go ahead.
inside check where I was checking if it was just South or if he actually knew, and he just gave up. Daggerford, just give up.
Let me. I've got this nat 20. I want to make sure I go ahead and put it on to. I want to make sure it's on
The right person.
the right person before we close the stream, so I remember. So I got Lachlan's nat 20 up there. Now I'm gonna
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Chad.
Yes, chat.
I'll use it
has
responsibly.
spoken. I'm gonna put the nat 1 on myself.
Hey.
Uh, it's chat versus Michael tonight. It's all good. It's all good. I will use that nat 1 wisely for any of my future roles coming up next session. So,
Oh, gosh.
well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, if you haven't followed, make sure you follow us. Check us out. You can follow us on Twitter as well, and I believe all of our cast members are on Twitter. Anything else anybody wants to throw out there as some announcements or anything you guys got going on?
Just insight check on Monday afternoon.
Insight check Monday afternoons.
Insight
About
check, Callista. Yeah.
They also have a YouTube channel. Don't be like me and try to jump into the middle if you can. Go to the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. It's much less confusing that way.
Yes, we'll have backstories written, so it's easier if you want to read up.
Excellent. Yeah. Insight check. They've got a YouTube channel. You can go back and watch all their previous episodes to get caught up. Diana, anything going on in your world?
Nothing. I'm fairly boring.
No. You so
Well,
rude.
it was thanks to you that Molfin got advantage on one roll tonight.
Litty titty.
Yeah. You did. You helped Molfin out.
Keep
And
that one up.
I really did like that glimpse into your past that you kind of revealed as part of this
Yeah, that's
session.
so
Yeah, that's a
good.
good point too.
That was a good point. That kind of opened things up to the rest of the streams. That's cool. Lachlan, MG, anything up with you other than running a Tomb of Annihilation on Monday nights?
Be there for Tomb of Annihilation.
MG, you guys have you been running your home group recently? Have you got your home group put together? Your home group has it been kind of put together yet? Have you guys been running a game at home?
Oh yeah, I'm playing in person with physical dice and stuff. Our next session is coming up next week, so it's gonna be interesting.
Are you guys playing a homebrew?
No, we're going through Lost Mines. It's a bunch of people that haven't really played before, so I
Awesome.
want to give them a nice deadly intro.
Are you DMing the? Are you the dungeon master for it?
Yeah, I'm the most qualified.
Awesome. Well, yeah, you'll have to keep us posted on how things go, especially playing with
Will
new
do,
players and
will do.
everything like that. It's always fun
Yeah,
to
and,
get people involved in the game, so that's awesome.
and just know we all hate you because you can play with live people.
Yeah, true. That
Oh, yeah.
real dice rule.
We have
Yeah.
to do a game where we all fly somewhere.
I
You
approve.
know?
Amen.
Yeah,
We just need enough subscribers to afford it.
yes, maybe someday. Maybe someday we'll
One
get
day.
it.
But we just got to convince Stumpy to keep giving bits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He'd do it. He'd fund us.
You know, and the thing is, I raised the goal tonight just because of Stumpy, and I didn't see him stop by tonight. I raised it from 100 to 150 because he kept on like overdoing it with the bits.
I'm gonna remind him. He'll probably come in next
So-
week and be like, "I got this."
So tell him, you know, it's on. I'm turning
It's
up.
on.
I'm turning up the heat since he keeps destroying my bit goals.
He will appreciate that. Winning.
JJ, anything going on in your world?
Nah, mate. I'm exactly like Zos. Very uneventful.
We had that awesome one shot. That was fun.
Yeah, the one shot.
Yes.
was-
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I'm planning on
JJ,
that.
Best.
Yes, someone, I think it was you guys, suggested putting it up on DM's Guild. I actually put a lot of work into it, and it was only like half done. Like the party only got through like pretty much halfway of what I planned, and with the amount of time it ran for, I had to like cut everything like really short.
Yeah.
Didn't get to use lots of cool abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might in the future I might put that on a DM's Guild or something. So
Very
look
cool.
out for that.
Do it.
Awesome.
Do it.
It'd probably
Awesome.
be a
Awesome.
so
Excellent. Yeah, make sure you get that up there.
What's that
'cause-
sauce?
Yeah.
I said it'd probably be top seller at Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, even Quapity in chat is saying, "Oh yeah, the Santa one was good."
Oh yeah, Cloppity says the Santa one was a good one. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Hello, Clark.
I'll have to.
So does Digitio. So
Super entertaining. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I want to get that on our YouTube channel too, so people can go back and check it out there as well. Mulfin, Matthew, anything other than Tomb Annihilation that you got going on?
no, not really. No, come by see me torture Moby. They're known as King Lizard, the Wizard Gizzard,
Yep, on Monday night
or something of that nature.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We just thank you so much for such a supportive community that we've got. Digitio, Cloppity, Keplin, thanks to all you guys who have been chiming in on the chat. There's so many of you, I can't even go back and call
Josh
out
popped
probably.
in for a while.
Josh was here
Carrot
for a
Rope
while.
is-
We had
Yeah.
Carrot Rope and Josh more
Carrot
so
was here.
towards the beginning, so that's awesome. So thank you guys once again for tuning in and hanging out with us. We always love to engage our viewers and get our Twitch chat involved, even if it means the DM getting a nat 1 for the next session. That's all good. I'm not bitter, not at all.
We're all gonna die.
Awesome.
But you
so-
just gotta remember
For all those
it's
Canadian geese jokes.
yeah, it's the Canadian geese jokes.
I
It's
get
it's
wrecked.
it's karma. It's karma. I deserve it. I totally deserve it. So
I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve
I
it.
deserve it. I totally deserve it. I don't know where the green little guy came from tonight. He just popped out of my brain just
That
last
was
second.
epic.
I had no idea where that was going. So that
Well, what was his name on the Flintstones?
I couldn't remember, but that's kind of who I envisioned in my mind.
Well, the minute you said it, that's what popped into my head, and I'm going, "Oh my god!"
I can't remember
Muffin
his
is having
name.
a breakdown.
Yeah, that little Martian guy or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name was.
Kazoo. Thank you, Kalopity. It was
Kazoo.
Kazoo.
That's it, Cloppity. Yeah, awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, Kazoo. Well, thank you guys once again. We're going to go ahead and end the stream for tonight. But as you go through your week, please don't forget to add your proficiency bonus because it's important. You'll need it. So everybody say goodnight.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Good night. See you next week. See you Monday.
See you on Monday, guys. Have a good night.